Welcome to the final day of semi-finals here for the PUBG Mobile Club Open in the South American region. We have 4 more games to decide who goes through to the regional finals and who goes home. And there's still everything to play for as we have a lot of teams still in contention. My name is Brainstorm. I'm joined as I have been for the last 2 weeks by Smash. Yeah. Most of the time it's been good. We've had a good time.
It's been fantastic. I've been loving the South American region, the flair, well, not the aggression per se, but the end circles, the way it work out. It's been fantastic, and to see 6ix9ine have such a great day today. The real question is, can they back it up today, right? They have a great opportunity to try and break the magic 300 mark that is almost insane. That would be a 50-point average. That'd be nuts. It would be. It would be nuts, but we'll have to wait and see for that.
We will indeed. And if you haven't missed any of those games, you have no idea what we're talking about, you're in luck because everything is available on the PUBG Mobile eSports YouTube channel. Go drop a subscription. You can catch up on all of the games from, well, the group stage all the way to now, really. We're pretty much 2/3 of the way through the PMCO full split. So there's a lot of games to watch if you do want to go and dig into them all, if that's your thing. And of course, if you do want to play the game, PUBG Mobile is available for no money, completely free on the Google Play Store and the iOS App Store.
Well, this is how we got here. We started off with 32 teams, and well, it was fantastic to have them around. Eventually, we got around to eliminating 8 of them. That was after 24 group stage matches. We've gone into the semi-finals where we played 24 matches with 24 teams, I believe it is, and we will drop another 8, go down to 16, and then we'll play those 10 final matches, and that's where the key lies, because you need to win those matches.
You do indeed. This is how teams have been getting the points that push them on, and this is how 6ix9ine have so many points right now. As we'll talk about that in a bit, but they're currently on 236. You get 20 points for a chicken dinner, 14 points for second, 10 points for third. It drops away below that, plus 1 point for every kill that you're able to gain. So 6ix9ine played 4 games yesterday, and I think they got 30 points or 31 points every single game.
Yes.
Which is, and they didn't even, they won 3. They lost the 4th one and still got, actually no, they would have been just short of 30 points for the last one.
They came second in the last game, and they still got a few kills to their name.
So it would have been
20,
game, something like that. I don't know, a stupid amount of points. They broke the 100-point day, which we've been waiting for a team to do for quite some time. I believe they're the first ones to have done it, at least certainly in our region, maybe in the whole of PMCO. Either way, this is our groups for the final day of semi-finals here. It's Group F up against Group G. Teams to look out for: 6ix9ine from Group G. Currently, the leaders by, what, 50 odd points? A lot, yeah.
Yep.
XG as well from Group F are also one of our teams who are up there. Red Canids have been having some decent results. Who else are we looking at?
Well, XG, Red Canids, and 6ix9ine are the leaders, of course. Nova have been doing some good work, but it is more about the teams at the bottom. Killer's team are in a bit of danger as well. Teams like Loops are looking to overtake them now. There is still a little bit of hesitation, I guess you'd say, about, I believe it's Real's spot as well that could be in danger. If there's a couple of teams on the bottom of the ladder that take some big games today, I don't know, there could be a lot of shuffling. Nothing's really set in stone yet. Even teams like Ace, who are still up there, but not quite safe.
Our current bottom 8 at the start of the day, still with 4 games to play, is Loops, Batmen, WarMaster, Crazy, Disturbed, Guardians, Imperium, Team Solid, and PDZ, all of which are teams you can currently see on your screen. So all of those teams will be looking for some big points today. I mean, the benchmark for safety as it stands right now is 100 points is guaranteed safe right now, because Killer's team are the lowest placed team who have played all of their games, and they're on 98. Yeah,
the hot three for me is Loops, Batman, and WarMaster. They have a really good opportunity here if they have a solid day to push themselves up into that top 16, and that will progress them on to the global, or not the global finals, but the regional finals.
And as it stands, they're all within 10-15 points.
Yeah,
as it stands right now, obviously things will change throughout the day, because we'll have 16 teams gaining points, not just 3. But as it stands right now, they're within 3 points of moving up into the bottom, or the top 16. So some teams only need a reasonable day, like probably a 20-30 point day to be safe. We've got a couple of other teams who are needing some miracles to be performed. So great to see which way it's going to go.
Crazy is the outlier at the moment. They need a big day to get themselves up into that top 16. It is possible. That's very possible. Anything can happen. This lobby is full of the teams that are vying to push themselves up. Of course, we have XG and we have 6ix9ine, who have been absolutely dominant all the way through this South American region. But if either of those teams goes missing today, there's a great opportunity for a team like Crazy to really take it by the scruff of the neck and, progress themselves through the tournament finals.
That would indeed be the aim. I mean, the only teams who we have playing today who have chicken dinners are, I believe, Rush to Die, Solo Safe, and Loops. I mean, those guys have all managed to grab themselves 1 win out of 20 games thus far, which is not the greatest margin. At least they've got a win. But it means that in reality, we're probably looking at a contest between 6ix9ine, XG, maybe Red Canids as well, to take the actual wins, and then it's up to the rest of the lobby to see how many points they can get.
Yeah, certainly. But it is a curious case of the fact that 6ix9ine and XG, I guess, and Red Canids as well, Nova, they're all so confident in qualifying. They've got enough points in the bank that if any of them try something new and take the foot off the gas a little bit, it could open the door for some of these lower end teams to claim some chicken dinners and push themselves up the board. As we do take a look at Erangel, our first map of the day.
Personally, I don't want 6ix9ine to come off the pace at all.
No, I want to see
him get 300.
Yeah.
Why not? I think they'd be the first team to do so, or at least, I mean, maybe not, but they'd certainly be the first of our region. The highest score that we've seen prior to this was 199 in the group stage.
And they've already eclipsed that in the same amount of games.
Exactly that. We played 4 less games per team in the group stage. We have more teams, but 6ix9ine have beaten that one by 37 points, and they've still got 4 games to go. As we do have a look at Erangel here, our first map for the day. plane line heading from the west to the northeast.
Yeah, it certainly is. It's a decent plane ride. It won't take you anywhere near Novo or Milton Power, but it will take you about everywhere that you need to go at the moment, as we see people spewing out the plane, the back of the plane. We'll have to see where these teams drop. Have the hot zone teams drop, the Batman, Loops, and WarMaster as well. I guess you can put them in there. Are the three that I'd be keen on. WarMaster are the lowest of those three, so they're going to need a big day. Loops and the side of Batman pretty much are guaranteed to move up, barring some sort of disaster from them. You'd assume that they'd overtake teams like Killer's team.
Yeah, I mean, they're currently, for Killer's team, who are, as we said, our lowest team, who have a fixed amount of points. There's teams below them, but they've still got 4 games to play. They're on 98. Loops and Batman are currently both on 82, so 16 points will get them over the top of Killer's team. Of course, getting over Killer's team doesn't guarantee safety, but at least it's a move up, right? And 16 points, 4 points a game, that's coming in the last 5 places and 3 kills, or pretty much any place above 11th and a kill or 2 will get you 4 points per game. So it's not a lot of work to be done from them. The circle has popped. It's very northern, which is a nice change. We might end up around the shooting range somewhere a little bit south of that.
Yeah, it certainly could be a shooting range finish. It is a rare pop, though. We haven't seen many northern circles at all. And WarMaster eSports in Yasnaya, who have got it pretty much to themselves, as everyone's almost landed now. They're going to be very happy with this circle, because if it does rotate north, they're going to have such an easy access to that lower Severnian shooting range area, and they'll be looted out of their minds. The Batmen are also around the Watertown, Roshawk area. So that means that they're going to have easy rotations as well.
Can I just point out that 6-9 have yoinked Pachinki?
Yeah, well,
now that Brazilian killers aren't here, they're like, right, well, if you don't want it, we'll have it. Or if you can't take it, we'll have it.
Well, they're the big dogs in the lobby, really. And XG are playing on the just about south of Pachinki. There are a few compounds around there that they're operating out of. As we already see action break out.
Disturbed losing a player to PDZ early on. So good for PDZ, bad for Disturbed.
Yeah, Disturbed are okay at the moment. They're sitting in around about 21st position, so they're not okay at all, actually. Both of these teams aren't okay at all. As PDZ only have 36 points to their name, and Disturbed on a measly 54, so not a great start for Disturbed. They were one of those teams that they would have needed an absolute blinder of a day to get themselves up in the standings.
We are saying, of course, this is not guaranteed for safety, but we're saying that the benchmark, so probably the minimum for potential safety for our teams, is about the 100-point mark at the end of the day. And if you're on, 30 points or 50 points or whatever, it's a long way to go.
Yeah, certainly. Looking at the other regions that have played out their semi-finals, it is around that 100 to 110 point mark that most of the 14s, 15, 16 teams are playing on. So that's not a bad assumption. Not a bad little gauge to go off, I guess.
Yeah, and I mean, of course, not all of our teams can make it there. That's the nature of the game. Was we do knock some teams out very early for only 1 point, and some teams get to hang around much later and get 30. So, yeah, of course, there's only a certain amount of teams who can actually make that barrier, but that's what we'll be looking for, I think, just to give us an idea of how things are going to play out. Of course, we won't know until we finish all 4 games and see those final updated standings, but that's what we'll keep an eye on, just to see how things are going. Disturbed have just lost another player, at least one's been knocked to a VSS.
I think he might be finished as well. I'm not too sure. That was on the western coast. So Disturbed are actually finding themselves all over this island already. Their drop has not gone the way it was planned out. They would have talked about the way they want to drop, and that was not it. There's never the plan to, let's drop, we'll have 2 die on drop, and then we'll go from there, fellas. This is actually the sub from 6-9.
All right, guys, here's the plan. We're going to drop 2 of you are going to die, and only then can we clutch.
Yeah, well, you've got to put yourself in a position to clutch if you do want to clutch, as this is on board with the Disturbed fire. He does get a nice knock with the nade, and Guardians Imperium now laying on the deck, as that was a 2-banger. So he knocked 2 fellas out with 1 stone. 2 birds with 1 stone, I should say.
He's going to be able to go out and spray down both potentially, but is wary of any possible retribution coming from the team. Never mind, he's not wary of anything. It's just yeeting out the window.
Yeah, it looks like he'll be fine to claim these. Well, at least one. The second one is...
Oh, there he is.
There he is.
Great. Spoil him.
In the bin. That's a good start for this player in particular. Leo, sorry. Well, yeah, look, haven't had the best tournament, Disturbed. They did manage to climb themselves up into the semi-finals, so that's a good good little start. You got to be in it to win it.
Exactly, that's the thing. Like, we had 8 teams who didn't make it to the semi-finals at all. So
Yeah.
at least they've made it this far. You know, I mean, the regional finals aren't looking too likely, but they've made it this far at least. Having a look at the Batman here in the Watertown. Didn't realize that Batman was a fan of Venice, but either way, seemed to be having a good time.
Not really a fan of Venice, but... Oh, well, you have to adapt to your situation. This is Nova on the military base, about as far away as you can get from the circle, so you got a bit of rotating to do.
Shame they're in the center and not on Novo, because we could have had Nova and Novo.
Nova and Nova would have been good. Only the one team to drop on the military island this time around, as this is the Guardians Imperium versus Bliss standoff. They are not in the zone, so they got to get a wriggle on eventually, but we'll have to wait for that.
I mean,
maybe the action does unfold, but at the moment it just looks like a whole lot of staring.
Our other 2 teams who did drop on the military island are in Group B, which was SVG and Real, if I remember correctly.
Correct.
So Nova have been given free reign of the military island.
6-9 actually dropped there yesterday.
6-9 dropped there once yesterday, I think.
Yeah.
They had 1 more central drop and 1 military drop.
Yep.
Have a look at Disturbed here, by the way. These guys have already lost 2 players.
Yeah,
not
both
ideal.
them and Guardians Imperium have dropped 2 players, but it's a bit of mutually assured destruction, really. As both those teams, I believe, they're on 51 and 54 points respectively, so not exactly setting the world on fire, and barring a miracle run at the end of the day, it doesn't look like either of them will get too far up as we take the car off-roading a little bit. It's not bad off-roading, though. It hasn't flipped it, which is something that can be said very rarely, as the players in the PMCO have enjoyed their vehicle shenanigans. As we do see EVO camping themselves out on top of a house. They have the southern shooting range on lock, really, so there's not going to be much action around there until the teams start rotating in. This is one of the bigger compounds to hold, so often in the later stages of the game we do see those compounds crash pretty heavily, and hurt is laid on as this is PDZ rotating in. One of their players has gone out and started with 3 for the day. They're rotating past the Batman, and 3 kills for the Batman would be very welcome. As
if PDZ needed anything else to go wrong.
Yeah, they have lost 2/3 of their team, and looks like they're getting very aggressive because why not? Just throw caution to the wind, get in a gunfight, have a good time. He's actually managed to push this Batman off the roof, so he gave up his position fairly easily.
Don't push Batman off the roof.
Don't push anyone off a roof.
You're right, but if you have to pick any like sort of comic character, make it one who can actually fly.
Yeah, I guess he's one of the ones that he's just a rich guy with a fancy belt. That's about it.
That's what you get, I suppose. Yeah, he's a rich guy with a nice costume and a lot of fancy gadgets. Either way, PDZ out in 16th.
Yeah, they are.
No further comment will be made.
No comment needs to be made really, as we're finding ourselves repeating ourselves when it comes to PDZ and 16th place. So I just had to deal with a little bit of a pest there. Sorry, viewers.
It wasn't me, promise.
No, it wasn't. But I got him.
I totally thought this player had 2 pans for a second. I was about to say
that
would be OP.
I wonder if the DP mag would block bullets. That'd be amazing, wouldn't it?
I don't think the gun models would have physics, but that'd be sick.
But it would be sick.
I mean, then you'd be able to play into mechanics like your guns can actually get broken by being hit with bullets.
Yeah, I mean...
And then you have teams who just troll by shooting everyone's guns and not actually killing them.
That'd be fun.
That'd be me.
That'd be hilarious.
Someone's got a car, you just shoot the barrel once and just walk off.
Yeah.
Either way, the circle has pulse, by the way, speaking of more, actual gameplay and slightly less memes. It's a northwestern shift for the circle, so centered over Georgia Pole, shooting range still in play, Everest just about still in there, ruins as well.
Yep.
Roshok half cut out, so probably not going to end up there too much, but most of our teams are rotating in. Actually, Team Solid, still way down south in the zone.
Oh yeah, they're in the quarry at the moment. I think Nova is rotating in now through the southern areas. They're about Pachinki with a few players. They might actually have a few players on a boat on the outskirts of the map. But we do see EVO, they're going to be holding this compound because it's still in the circle, and if the circle shifts north, which it really should if it behaves itself, then...
Circle, behave yourself.
Well, if it's feeling nice and it's behaving itself today, it should shift north of that Roshok inlet. You can't call it a Roshok river because it doesn't run from a body of water to a body of water. As We are on board now. I think that was one of WarMaster guys picking up a knock, which is great for them because they need
Oh,
all of
no.
it.
That's a big player to lose for XG.
Mixera?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay,
That's
yeah.
your boy Mixera, who is currently our kill leader as far as I remember. 29, I think he's on for the semifinals or something like that. So that's a big player to get rid of, a big scalps to claim very early on. And I believe that was actually him getting confirmed there as well. Looks like 6ix9ine do only... Not 6ix9ine, sorry, it's XG. Never mind.
XG, yeah.
Either way, 6ix9ine still have 4. That's beside the point. 9K cop a headshot there onto DGG, I think that was. Maybe it's red. Either way,
Yep.
XG have been spotted out now, and now they're in for a bit of pain as 6ix9ine have found them, and these are two of our biggest hitters here. That's another one going to be going down here for XG in just a second. Sure, they'll be confirmed.
Yeah.
There we go. So,
Seems,
XG, not the hottest of starts.
seems like everything 6ix9ine touch turns to gold at the moment.
Except for enemy teams. They turn into boxes on the ground.
Yeah, the boxes, that's what they turn into.
Yeah.
They just disappear into that box. On board with Crazy, who finally have got themselves the South Georgia Bowl circle. They've been one of these teams that have been fighting in South Georgia Bowl for the majority of our tournament. Much to the displeasure of myself, who keeps finding them getting killed in South Georgia Bowl.
It's true.
But
now the circle's with them.
this time they found 4 players alive in the circle with them, so that's a good job from them.
Be able to get themselves some vehicles and go for a bit of a road trip with the boys as well.
Ooh.
Disturb just lost Leo there, or at least had him knocked. We'll see if that's confirmed.
done.
Yep, there it is. So Rush to Die will confirm that one. Bit of bouncy
She's
driving.
alright.
But, yeah, she'll be right.
I think that's only 1 player left from Disturb now.
Yeah, so so we have PTZ out and Disturbed on their way out. Once again, no further comment will be made apart from to let you know that those guys were well in within elimination zone at the start of the day.
Yeah, 6ix9ine have found themselves on the riverbed, essentially, with a nice little area to watch over everything if they want to get silly and start taking shots.
Which, at 6ix9ine, they probably do.
It is a northern circle, though. The North Georgia Pole apartments are still in it, but it is mainly centered around that shooting range. I believe there might be even a plane wreck up that way as well, as teams are going to have to start rotating over that Roshawk River, or inlet. The Georgia Pole Gorge is in play.
Pole, as it's
Georgia
known.
Pole.
It's not.
Yeah, the port of Georgia Pole is in play, or out of play, so teams will have to rotate across that. It looks like Solo Safe will be the first one to try and test the bridge and see if it's sturdy, as the other teams are choosing to rotate over the more safer bridges, not the big long distance bridge.
WarMaster here in a couple cars, going for a bit of a drive in the countryside, and
Or that last Disturbed player was getting lit up as he makes a mad dash for the crate.
ooh, yep, that's
He's got it though.
all right. So we'll see what he's able to pull out of it. That might.
He's not going to be able to pull a win out of it.
He opens it up. There's just a plate with a single
Chicken
chicken
dinner.
drumstick on there, and the game just ends.
Yeah, no, that would be a great feature to add.
1 in 1,000 crates.
Oh, you'd want 1 in a million.
Actually,
crates
yeah, I
anyway.
was about to say that maybe
Oh,
if it's
it
1
is.
in 1,000 per player.
Yeah,
That would
not
make more
bad.
sense. Not 1 in 1,000 drops.
Ooh,
Either way,
that's a nice knock actually from
Yeah.
the side of XG.
we'll be able to knock out one of these Rush to Die players.
Nice.
And Rush to Die are also a team who, I mean, they could probably do with some. Wait, where are they?
They could do with some points. I mean,
They could
everyone
do
could
with
do
some
with some points at the point.
Yeah, they are. They're in 12th. I couldn't find them because my eyes don't work. But they're at 116, so they're already probably at that margin of what we're thinking should be safe. Let's find out how true that is. But, of course, you want yourselves some more points, if only just to, if you're already safe, you can use these games essentially as practice and warm-up, really, just to get yourself fired up heading into the finals.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, there's a bit of time off between now and the finals. We do have a little bit of a break for both us and the players. But,
Well, we
you
certainly
still
need
want to
it.
end on a high.
We've been working hard, Tim. We need it.
I mean, they've been playing hard, mate. They're making the actual hard decisions. We've just got to talk about it.
Yeah, well, I work hard,
You do.
play hard. Actually, I don't. I've been lazy and just been staying in the hotel most of the time.
Yeah, we've been to the gym a few times.
Yeah, that's all right. As we see more knocks coming out, that's one of the Guardians Imperium guys. This is Red starting to chime into the conversation. First time we've seen them active on the map, as the teams are starting to get right up close and personal, as those North Georgia apartments are starting to get really stinky and messy. As there are 3 teams around in that area, 2 teams and crazy looking onwards. 9K is still in the lobby as well. XG have found themselves pretty central of the circle, but of course it's 6ix9ine playing around bang smack in the center. as one of the Batmen, I believe, took a little bit of a tumble. That is Nova and Batman on the southeast coast of the fight of the circle. They're starting to really rain in some shots on each other. So that's an important fight for the Batman. They need to, if they can win that one, that will sort them out right smart, as it is Loops that find themselves with the majority of the circle.
Yeah, they've got some very good control there in the eastern side of things. There's still a few teams coming behind them, though. Nova and Batman look like they are on that way. But, of course, those teams also look like they could end up fighting each other before
they were.
anything else. Yeah, they certainly were exchanging some shots. I don't think
one of the
too much
Batmen
has come of it.
There we go. We're on board with that now, as Nova have knocked 2 Batmen down. One of the Team Solid guys has fallen to the blue, as that was in North George. He's being penned down in those apartments by the side of Solo Safe, who haven't let them up at all. But you see Nova with the nice spread here. They're getting all the angles they possibly can onto the Batman.
Yeah, Batman have
they're not letting up at all. They don't have any mercy towards this Batman team that needs as many points as they can find. As we find WarMaster getting some points onto Rush the Dire players, so that's good stuff for them. They're one of those teams that needed the points going into today. Loops is also another one that wants points, and they got points on 9K as they're starting to knock them out.
Hey, you know how we were talking about Team Solid and that they were still in quarry and they were rotating slowly?
Yep.
They've lost 2 to the zone.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's rough out there, right?
Just to stop and make that point. Either way, the Batmen here are in a very difficult spot. Nova are edge guarding them very hard, determined not to let them inside this safe circle. The circle, I mean, look, it's still pretty good, but most of our teams are getting over there now. There's a lot of action coming in this western side, so that should be a bit of edge guarding happening for EVO here, potentially 6-9 as well. So a lot of teams are about to come in over that way.
That's 2 Batmen down in the dumps as Solo Safe find a knock onto Crazy. Crazy are one for me that I really want to see get up today. I want to see a big day from Crazy and see if they can make it all the way in. But looking at it now, as they've got 2 players on the deck and 1 hurting, doesn't look like it might be a big day for him. Let's put the knocker onto him. The 6-9 start to get involved on the battlefield as well. EVO, they were controlling a compound for so long, but they eventually had to move, and now they've moved right into the fray as they're starting to wear knocks and give them out themselves.
They're having a big fight with Team Solo Safe here. These guys on your screen who just got shot out of that car.
Here's Ducky.
Red's third partying as well. Yeah, here's your boy Duck. I mean,
he's going to be the last player alive.
He got that massive 1v3 a couple days back, and he's been pretty quiet since, but I know he won your heart with that play, so it's all right.
Well, he could turn up now with a 1v43 to get the chicken dinner, but I mean, don't think it's going to happen.
Look, it was a 1v3 with 3 kills, 3 different weapons.
It was beautiful.
You know, I understand why you like him, mate. Hopefully he can deliver for you. Loops stuck down, trapped in a pretty difficult spot. I mean, they've got a lot of mobility looking at this ditch full of cars.
Well, they're in the circle, and they've also found themselves, those cars are going to help them out in the long run. As Duck does go down. Rest in peace, my mans.
A couple teams been eliminated as well. We do now have just 13 remaining. I believe Team Solid are now down to just the 1.
Yeah, they are, as they will be joining Disturbed on the 1-man gang, as Loops are valiantly defending their little ditch. I believe that is actually around that plane crash area. Yep, the body of a plane laying around there. Flying is quite hazardous if you're not trained as a pilot, so please do not fly without a pilot's license.
We're really getting out a lot of helpful advice while we cast these, split, aren't we?
Yep.
Wear seatbelts. Don't fly a plane unless you can fly a plane. We're really dishing out the useful information here.
Crazy
are about to get destroyed by this zone. Yeah, this zone, it's one of our later ones, so it is doing a lot of damage.
Oh, it's going to steal that player.
Smog is actually... No, there we go. I was going to say, surely he's down. Scar is sacrificing himself to try and get some kills. I think Crazy only have 1 player left, and yeah, there he is on your screen. Yeah, is he still in the zone? Yeah.
Yeah, he is, and he's desperate to get in, but he's being guarded by the guys from EVO.
Through that, unfortunately.
Really unfortunate stuff. Really rough stuff from the side of Crazy.
For it. He's sending it. There's a smoke there. He can actually get inside this and heal. He has made it inside the zone, so... A
few bandies are doing good.
Cheeky couple bandies. You know how it is. Big bandages, of course. EVO don't quite spot him, but the smoke is now fading. Surely he's done.
Yeah, you're cooked, mate. See you later.
Nothing that could be done when that smoke faded. Crazy will go out in 13th, so just 1 more team eliminated, and we'll start to see the points per team going out, ticking upwards.
Oh, the action is all kicking off now as the zone has centered itself on that little plane crash area. Nova are really bullying teams on the southern side as Team Solid are starting to put some hurt into Red Canids as well. So that fight, Nova, Solids, Canids, they're all over each other, as I believe we might have just lost Team Solid. In fact, we have. So now it is a Nova Red Canids fight, and this is quite an even one, but it looks like Nova's just running over the top of them. 6ix9ine aren't stopping up on the aggression at all as they're getting into EVO, who were walking wounded after that fight with Crazy.
We just lost Red.
We did lose Red as Nova took them out. They were guarding them on the edge. So EVO are getting peppered now by XG as well. So XG just knocked out EVO, I believe, as EVO and 6ix9ine ganged up on them and really bullied them. Didn't let them go out. He's got 5 kills on the side of 6ix9ine already. I'm sick of seeing these guys win. So someone, please.
Nah, let him go, mate. I want to see that 30-pointer for the day, or 300-pointer even.
Well, talking about pointers,
65-point day, something like that.
WarMaster's is still knocking up points. They've got a lot of damage done this game. I'd say they might even be one of the top squads as them Rush to Die 9K find themselves within shouting distance. As the Batman player that is in the blue, he is taking some shots, but I'm not sure how much longer he's going to survive out there, as he has one teammate remaining, but they're nowhere near each other as they're just splitting up. As there we go, he goes down to the zone, but still one player alive for them.
WarMaster run into a compound with
with 9K in it, but 9K
I was going to say, did they run without
perish.
checking the corner? But no, Korea just ran in, ran out, then ran back in and got both kills.
Yep. Korea fighting as we see more knocks go out. WarMaster's guys, they are looking a little worse for wear after that engagement, but they're still got enough to keep kicking as XG are down to their last player, as 6ix9ine are continuing to just stomp on people. Here it is. Myth has that last player locked down. 6ix9ine, 4 players alive still. There we go. Last player from XG does take leave, and that will be 6ix9ine with 7 kills, looking dominant at the moment. Nova is the other squad that looks pretty big.
One of our only 3 squads with 4 players still up. Of course, Loops are one of the teams who can really do with some points, and naturally, by saying their name, I have immediately cursed them to lose a player, which is what will happen. It's 6ix9ine who will take that player away, fittingly. It's one of our top squads, the top squad really, continuing to show why they've been so good thus far. Nova now the only team alongside with 6ix9ine who have 4. Look at this last Rush to Die player. He's behind all of WarMaster. He could really spoil things for them here if all the other teams don't do it. Yeah,
WarMaster with 3 alive. They are going to take the fight with Loops, but they are losing players rapidly. Both of these squads are very low. All 3 WarMaster players are on about 11 HP. Cresting the ridge, he's going to get sprayed down pretty quickly. The medkit is going to come out for Zoom, so he's back to full HP, but that Rush to Die player is still on the flank, so if he chooses to third-party his engagement, he can, and really end the WarMaster's day, you'd think, as there we go, he's actually chiming in now, so the third party does come out. Nova are starting to answer onto the side of Loops as well. Loops are hurting with only 1 player active. 2 players knocked, and the third player, well, he's looking a bit rinky-dinkment, as WarMasters are down to 1 as well.
Bit rinky-dink. I suppose you could say that. Circle is pretty friendly for Nova, at least, who are, of course, one of our teams still with 4 players potentially up. Both them and 6ix9ine need to grab a revive to get back to full strength. Nova just had a crate drop right on top of them by the looks of things.
Yeah, that's all right.
And they've got multiple smokes around them as well, so they'll be pretty free to grab that one. Loops are busy being snakes in the grass. The last Batman player and the last WarMaster player are both sneaking in with the zone.
Got a ghillie. Not bad. This player will pick up the level 3 Silly Vest and Silly Hat.
Silly Vest.
There we go. The last player from Rush to Die is spotted by the WarMaster guys.
I haven't heard Silly Vest before from you.
Well, break out some new stuff.
I like it. Keep the material fresh, you know. Either way, this is looking very much like, well, not really too much hope for our 3 solos here. It's basically Nova versus 6ix9ine. 6ix9ine do have themselves some decent cover on the opposite side of the ridge line, but they are copping some fire.
Yeah, Nova know exactly where they are, which is not exactly ideal. They don't have to move into the zone at the moment, 6ix9ine, but Nova, they've just dominated the circle as they've spread themselves out. And
look at the split they've got on the 6ix9ine here. They've got a player firing at the flank here. It's York on your screen, and then 2 up on top of the hill spamming fire down as well. So 6ix9ine in a pretty difficult spot, as well as
getting knocked now.
Yeah, I think the other Nova player is busy spotting out the solos as well. He is. So Nova are 3-manning 6ix9ine and leaving their last player to clean up solos.
Oh, he actually exploded a car in there and did a lot of damage to the squad of 6ix9ine. So they are looking not too hot right now, 6ix9ine, and Nova looking absolutely dominant. At the moment, they're just bullying teams and pushing them around anywhere they want, as the last player from the Batmen, believe it or not, is still alive. So Nova versus Batman was one of the fights that kicked off at the start of our game, and looks like it's gonna be one of the ones that kick off at the end of the game.
Nova pretty sick of 6-9 at this point. I mean, it's worth noting 6-9 has still got themselves another second place. It'll be their 5th top 2 in a row, but Nova are looking very good to finish this one. I mean, they're guaranteed another top 2, right? No,
the Batman player is still alive. We've still got 3 teams, and if he can out-survive the 6-9 onslaught, or the 6-9...
You're right, I actually forgot he hadn't been taken down already.
No, he's just chilling out. He's moving into, he's in the zone, so he's in the play area at the moment, so with 6-9 down their last legs, but they are answering back onto Nova. Nova are hurting a lot. If this last 6-9 player can get some silly business going on, then... And we've seen silly business happen, but we won't see it happen now, as the last player from Batman will secure the 2nd place.
I done cursed him is what I did. Nova going to go for the revives here. They do have multiple players down, but they should be able to secure it all in this last Batman player here. If he just charges straight over the hill, he might actually be able to spray him down while they're healing, but he pretty much just needs to YOLO it at this point. It's very unlikely that you can 1v4 Nova, and of course, he doesn't know what we do.
He's taken his backpack off too. He's resigned himself to the fact that he is a snake in the grass.
Only a level 1 vest too, so...
Yeah, he's cooked. And we see V2 pulling up. Mate, we're going to get something present there, mate? No, yeah, right. Doesn't even stop for the loot. He just continues on his merry way.
What is the play here?
I don't know.
You're not going to out-heal 4 Nova guys, and surely your hide-and-seek game isn't that good.
No. Nova will just be frustrated looking for this. It's a 15 kill. It will be 16 once it's all said and done.
Jesus.
That's a good way to start the day if you are Nova.
Don't. Hold your fire, soldier. Do not press that trigger, even if you see all of them.
Yeah, they've been found. So he will go down. The Batman will finish in 2nd place, but it is Nova who take a 16-kill chicken dinner to start the day off.
Jesus. V2 with 7 for himself as well. That's incredibly well played by him. I mean, look, the problem is that I cursed 6-9. That's really the issue here. Is that I said they had top 2 and then I binned them. But, I mean, they'll get themselves 8 kills in 3rd place, so that's another 18 points for them. They'll be happy with that one. Nova, I mean, they're another one of our teams who don't really need a massive infusion of points, but they've got one anyway. It's an extra 36 points for them, which will push them comfortably into... Actually, that legitimately pushes them to 200 points dead.
Does it?
Yep, they're on 164.
So they'll be up in 2nd or 3rd place now?
2nd place, I believe. Is Influence Rager on 182. I mean, they were 36 points off 200 and they nailed it. So
yeah, nailed it.
There you go. That'll get them a nice boost up the leaderboard. They're not one of our teams who needed the points, but I mean, this is kind of what we said at the start of the day. I did say it was going to be a 6-9 Red Canids and XG's fight.
Yeah.
I really should have included Nova in that, as they're actually higher than the Red Canids by substantial. I went for considerable and substantial, and it became a mess. Either way, they're a decent way above them now. So, again, I think it is just going to be our top couple of teams who are fighting for the chicken dinners, and then the rest of the lobby will be left to just pick up whatever scraps of points they can. This was an odd engagement.
It was quite an odd engagement. There were a few around the place, as the WarMasters were kind of the big winners in this game. Of course, Nova will get the big chicken dinner, but the real winners are the teams that are moving up in the points down the bottom of the board. So you got Loops and WarMasters were the two of the 3 teams that I said coming into the day needed 3. Actually, all 3 of them. Batman, WarMasters, Loops. All got points in this game, so they're already start of the day. If you're Killer's team, you're crying in the club right now. You got the violin out. You're giving them some of these ones, but what can you say? It's been a good day for good start of the day for the teams at the bottom of the board.
Yeah, and I think that's the way it's going to continue to go here throughout our day, is that we are going to have the big dogs fighting for the placings, or the really high placings as well, and then it'll be the rest of our teams doing a Batman, sneaking one player in where they can, picking up what points they can, and seeing how high they can push themselves up the leaderboard. But that's one of our 4 games done for the last day of the semi-finals here. We've got 3 more to go. Up next is Sanhok. We'll be back with that in a sec.
PUBG Mobile Team Deathmatch. Anytime, anywhere. There is a better choice.
Another team coming in here. This is getting difficult for the Brazilian killers as the WarMaster fight's going to be cleaned up for them, but still worried. There's another white ghillie here in play with Kako. So we've got
to have an equal win rate or better, which
well, that means when we get to the actual finals, they're going to win 3 out of 10 games.
Yeah, and you'd think that would be enough.
Plenty,
unless someone
surely.
wins
7.
Or 7.
Which I doubt. Either way, Influence Rage here under fire. Again,
they're not going to be winning 7.
They really probably
enough to get back in, so EVO all of a sudden down to 2 players. 6ix9ine do have 3. That rotation isn't too bad for them.
Wait.
He killed him by falling. He dragged him down.
Okay, it seems that way. 6ix9ine now doing a whole lot of work here. I mean, they're potentially about to take this one out. It should be all done and dusted here. There's the last kill.
Hey, ooh, he's going to get tagged though. This Kato getting lit
Oh
up by the
goodness.
Influence Rage guys. Swap weapons, boy. Get the other one out and start having another crack at it. This last one aren't coming out great.
Yeah, Myth's going to risk it actually was to find
This
these
is a
guys.
beautiful
And,
angle,
oh my
though.
goodness, so well played. They're going to find all of them.
Team Queso
That
gone.
will be Team Queso out. EVO and there was 1 player left as well, and they are no longer in the zone. 6ix9ine have played it perfectly. They're leaving their last player in the edge of this zone. They've just got to clean up this one last player. It's actually doing pretty close.
Both these teams had a pretty poor game 2.
Oh boy.
XG and Cream, so neither of these teams are going to want to go out
It's about
early.
to be so rough for Brazilian killers. IN. Are they
IN
actually giving it up? The
They might
timing, they might just be leaving here. This may well turn out in Brazilian killers' favor. They're about to start coming across.
And then it's all over for you. Jonathan so far has been very bloody strong. What are you playing at, mate? Okay, never mind. Not very weak. He went for the
Yeah, I quite like snowmobiles on this map.
They feel very comfortable to drive, so that's good. Stick to the ground. Oh, my
Whoa, talk
Lord.
about comfortable to drive. Tempo, trying to go for that 360 barrel roll.
She's alright.
5 points because they did stick the landing.
Yasha up the stairs, does find the knock, refrag from Unique's teammates. Kitsune looking directly through the window, a really strong play here.
2 downs, very low HP, and he goes. Doesn't get the knock, hang on a
gets
minute.
him. How's he survived through that?
Unique, they're really on the ropes now, but finally.
Spraying down on actually.
And
they're going for it. Is this going to be execution? Yes, the Iraqi elite is
Oh,
going
he
for
gets
it.
hit in a car. Quiet, falls.
Rivalry could go ahead there at the end of the game if it continues on. S7 at the moment, 4 kills in the bag. Oh, you're sliding. Ooh. All right. He made it into the water eventually.
Yep, nope, we're fine. Nope, they're still falling in. All right, well.
We're one game in the books for the final day of the semi-finals here of the South American region. Erangel is what went down just before the break. So 3 more to go now.
Yeah, 3 more to go. Finished north of the river as well, or north of the center, so which was fantastic. But if you didn't catch that, Erangel, you need to catch it on the PUBG Mobile Esports YouTube channel, because that's where you'll find all of the VODs and the videos from this PMCO fall split. It's been fantastic, and if you want to get into the PMCO eventually one day, you want to be good enough to do that, you need to download the game. And that's going to be on the iOS App Store and the Google Play Store for free. Lots of content on there at the moment with the Daryl Dixon motorcycle skin little mini game coming out. It's got lots of stuff there, and the TDM, which is my personal favorite. If we get a bad circle on Miramar, busting out the phone, getting into it.
I mean, we don't have Vikendi today, so we don't have any circle. It's that bad. This is, speaking of, by the way, if you didn't miss Erangel, well, yeah, go subscribe to the YouTube channel. You'll be able to watch back the game. But here's a scoreboard if you do want to get a quick overview on how things went. It was Nova who grabbed one of the biggest chicken dinners that we've had in the last couple of days. Maybe even in the semi-finals all up, actually.
But Nova and 6-9, you could basically close your eyes at the top 2 there, because it is 3rd, 4th, 5th.
6-9 still got top 2.
Yeah, that's crazy. But
got them.
Yeah, they still got top 2 eventually, but 3rd, 4th, and 5th on the points board there. Batman, WarMaster, and Loops, they were the ones that were important. Those points are worth their weight in gold.
They were 17, 18, 19 at the start of the day, aka the first 3 elimination positions. Pardon me. So they'll be moving themselves up quite a bit, which will be good.
Yeah, it'll be fantastic, as we've got XG and Red Canids rounding out the top 8. Rush to Die snuck themselves in there, but they'd actually be pretty safe. If they get...
Yeah, they're in 12, so they should be
another
fine.
10 points probably for the day, you'd say they're safe.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. When we look at the middle 8, by the way, of the overall standings, which we'll get to in a sec, most of the teams in there have actually played all their games. So the only way you can move in the middle 8 is up.
Well...
Pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. Crazy were one of the teams that I highlighted that needed as many points as they could get, and 3 is just not going to do it. They're going to need at least a chicken dinner, you'd say, today to get through to the next phase. Team Solid, Guardians Imperium, PDZ, Team Solo Safe, Disturbed. It's all these teams that aren't exactly looking too hot at the moment. Team Solo Safe, PDZ managed to get themselves a point, by the way, so they get off the bottom of the board. This is the top of the board, as we have said. These teams are all going to be safe. You bet your house on them staying in the tournament.
No, I'm not a betting man, and I'm especially not a betting man on leagues I'm casting. But
well, yeah,
if I was, this would be pretty safe. All of these teams, you know, they're all, with the exception of Red Canids, who are on the brink. They're all above 150 points. They're all very much safe. Nova are our second team to break the 200 mark now, with 36 points, being exactly what I needed to get to 200. So they'll be happy with that. By the way, 6-9 with 99 kills.
That's going to be...
It's huge.
It's going to be good. They'll cross over the mark next game, you'd say, bar a disaster. So that'll be fun for them, getting a little milestone up. I believe that will be the second team, as Brazilian Killers did reach 100 kills in the groups. So
they got 101,
yeah. They got 101. So that's good for them.
So 6-9 have got 3 games to pass that. Admittedly, though, Brazilian Killers' record will still be unbeaten because they did it in 12 games, and it's been 13 now.
Batman have pushed someone down, and now they're tied with the Killers team for the 98-point mark, the 15th place mark. So they're already making moves on this top 16. So you'd say they're safe now, because they will knock down Killers team
are potentially all but eliminated at this point. They only need 1 point gained by Batman, which they're going to get. So the only way that Killers team is safe is if everyone in the bottom 8 only gets 1 point for the rest of the day, and that's mathematically impossible. So we'll have to have a look. I mean, maybe the top 2 teams actually have enough of a buffer to make that doable, but I think we're looking at Loops.
No, Loops are 92. Okay, no.
So they've got 6 points. If Loops and WarMaster and Team Solo Safe all completely fail for the rest of the day, then Killer's team is safe.
Yeah,
that is the only scenario.
Yeah, that's just not going to happen. EVO were moving up as well, so they're on their way to securing their spot. If EVO tank out the rest of the day, though, and teams like Solo Safe, Crazy start to get a wriggle on, we could see EVO dropping out. So there are still many options in this game, or in this format of the tournament, this part of the tournament to roll out. Team Solid, though, they left it to the last game of the group stage, and even if they leave it to the last game of the group stage here, unless they got something like a 60-point chicken dinner, they're not going to get through. You're not getting a 60-point chicken dinner, Tim.
2/3 of the lobby killed by your team and take the... I mean, it'd be hard to avoid taking the win if you got 40 kills. But, no. I mean, I don't actually know what the record is for the highest kill win in professional PUBG, but I would assume it's not 40 kills.
I've seen a 21, a 22.
I would guess mid to high 20s would be the absolute best.
I know, I saw a 21 and a 22 in North America, but not anything higher than that.
Yeah, we might do a quick bit of research into that when we have a chance just to see out of interest. But either way, I severely doubt it's 40. I don't think that's going to happen.
No.
So, I mean, technically, yeah, look. Technically, none of our teams are out yet.
Nope.
Nobody.
Everyone's alive.
Nobody with 16 games played has yet fallen into the bottom 8, although we are on the brink. Pardon me. We're on the brink of that happening.
Yeah,
but for now, we've still got 3 more games. We've got Sanhok, Miramar, and then Erangel again to close out. So still alive, most of our teams. As we do have a look at Sanhok here. Speaking of it, moving into it, it is our smallest map, 20 towns. We've seen quite a bit of action on the Northwestern Island so far.
Certainly have. That's been where the majority of the circles have ended up. As you can see, that Northwestern Island on your screen now. We actually are just... See, it's on the top left of your screen there. It's got some nice hill lines there, a little bit of a cliff face as well. It's always fun to end up there because teams usually have to traverse that cliff just east of Camp Alpha. But this plane ride is about as cushy as you can get, really. All the teams are going to be able to jump out at their loot locations as it is almost smack bang in the middle of the map. You can see there, almost middle. Paradise Resort will be one of the last drop destinations. Tatmok and Cal are in the north side. Doesn't look like anyone's going directly over the top of that.
I like Cal.
I like Cal too.
It's a good name.
I like Cal. It's very good.
I almost said Brazilian Killers because I'm so used to them being in that dark blue, but it's XG this time around who are leading the charge onto the Northwestern Island. All of our teams, well, getting pretty spread out nice and evenly. Circle is southwest, so this might actually, I mean, it should be a Southwestern Island finish, which
Could find a tempo
I don't
finish.
think we've had yet.
Well, have a look at this. 4 teams or 3 teams getting real stinky in this Pine Am area.
How is this one PDZ player wound up over here?
Well, he said, all right, fellas, you loot that side, I'll loot this side. I'm the star. I'll get the most loot. I'll frag out, carry the game.
And then Guardians Imperium were like, but what if no? What are your thoughts on if you don't do that?
What if we do that?
Oh my god.
Oh, no.
This poor man.
Oh, the spray comes out. It's not going to be enough to connect. It connects on both players, dropping them both very low, but only 3 in the clip. He needs to reload.
Look at all those health kits. I mean,
There's
if he has enough time.
The third player comes in and he gets tagged as well. One knock happens. This could be a 1v3 if he can manage to get the spray down.
What the hell is going on here? Bazina
crazy stuff
is somehow sticking with it. He does stop to pick up the med kit. If you give him the time, he's still pre-firing around these stairs. He might just keep up with his res. He's going in with a pistol.
What are you doing, son?
Oh dear. And now his teammates are all in the open because they sort of committed too late to help him.
And the rest of the last GI player is just peppering them as they come across the bridge. He pulled out the Glocky and...
The Glocky.
Might not have been the smartest player. I think he ran out of ammo on his M4 and that's why he did it.
Yeah.
Put the Glock to full auto but didn't manage to get the results that he wanted with it. He's out of the game and there's another player on the deck because of his actions. So greed is not good despite the cheat code.
I mean, I think PDZ sort of half committed to that and then way too late. Like if they were going to go, I feel like you just got to charge across the bridge while everyone inside the building is busy being like, what, there's someone in here?
That's 2 players from PDZ confirmed out and Gonzo. So Guardians Imperium actually did well there to stabilize the ship as 3 of their players went down to a slither of HP, but they've managed to get things back on track and they stole his Glocky for good measure.
Yeah, cop that, mate. Ours now. I mean, I'm not sure how much it's going to get used. That's pretty much the first time we've actually seen a pistol being used in combat
Glocks
so far.
with a silencer on them, a handgun suppressor, which is used to troll your teammates, is fantastic. It sounds amazing.
Yeah, but sound isn't going to carry them through. I mean, there's a reason that we're not seeing many of them being used so far, I'm sure.
That's very true. As more sprays come out, this is GI just kind of bullying them at the moment. Is that
Mini Uzi.
Mini Uzi does answer. Another gun that sounds fantastic with a silencer on it.
I mean, just silencing most weapons is just the way to go in
shotgun
terms
comes
of
around the
boosting
corner.
pull factor.
He wore a buckshot to the face, but it's not going to be enough to seal the deal. There's 4 kills for the side of the Guardians Imperium. Let's have a look at where they are in the standings, Tim.
Spoiler alert, audience. PDZ have gone out in 16th once again, unfortunately.
Crikey. Guardians Imperium sitting at the start of the day in 22nd place, so nothing short of a miracle will get them to the finals. As we do see them now dominating the loot in Pine Am. It was interesting that EVO were the third party in this engagement, and they decided fighting is not good, we're running. We are pacifists.
Yeah, I mean,
I do not want this.
If if any time, now is a good time to start just trying to tank for rank, right? Like,
Well,
stay alive into the later circles and
yeah.
steal away some rank points. Because at this point, these teams down the bottom have had 12 games, 13 now, to figure out that they're not fragging as well as everyone else. So that's when you go, all right, let's not lean on it. We'll try and make our way into the top 6 if we can.
Yeah.
Guarantee ourselves some points from placements, and there, if we have to take gunfights, then we'll try.
Yeah, certainly. It's a strategy that does actually work to an extent, as one of the teams in the wildcard region, No Mercy, the Australian squad, they've been employing that strategy just because they are playing with a bit of a ping difference, and so they're just using the rotations and the cover and the smokes to find themselves in those top 5 positions. And then if they need to take a gunfight, as you said, they'll be in prime position to do that because they'll still have their full armor, they'll still have full meds, they'll still have a decent amount of grenades as well. So they'll be well equipped to take those fights in the end game, and that's when things can get a bit sticky and the circle might be able to favor you, and all of a sudden you walk away with chicken dinners. So it's not a bad little strategy to have for yourself at all.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to be as consistently high scoring as a team who's able to roll around, slay out, and get themselves into a higher placing. But, you know, if there is factors working against you, whether it's, you know, your drop locations getting crunched on, or whether you've got a ping difference, whatever it might be. If other teams have figured out your rotations, as these teams have played each other quite a bit.
This is another Disturbed player alone in the wilderness. We saw this in the last map too, as Team Solid are now lining up EVO, so EVO have dropped a player already. EVO can't really afford to have too many bad games. If they go out in last place or in the 11th to 16th region multiple times today, you'd think that there's an opportunity for them to get knocked out, as a third party now starts in onto Team Solid, so managed to find themselves away. But this is the fight between Disturbed and the side of WarMasters. WarMasters desperately need to not die here, as they still need points in the day. They are dropping very low, but looks like one of their players has been killed down, actually, as they only have 3 up and one's already been knocked. So this is going really bad for WarMasters.
What a baller, by the way, this Disturbed guy. Chucks a smoke behind him, but doesn't use it for cover.
Yeah, it's the fakey smoke.
He might actually be able to catch him out here, maybe.
Oh, the shots are ringing in. That's going to be a high ground push there.
That's someone else from Disturbed getting involved.
Yeah.
I mean, Myth, unfortunately, here is looking the wrong way. He's only just figured it out, but his cover's been blown.
He certainly is.
Ooh, okay. He's still able to get a knock through, so that's good work from him. His teammates spamming away at long range.
Oh, one more bullet. It's pretty unlucky there.
Full auto at that range is the most efficient strategy, but there you go. No, never mind. That's
WarMasters out.
That happens. Yeah, there you go. WarMaster are done early here on Sanhok.
Not the result that they need at all. They still have 2 opportunities left in the day, as there are 2 maps to play after this Sanhok, so not all over for them just yet, but that's a good start for Disturbed. They're a team that would need a miracle again as to get themselves into the top 16, so they're playing spoiler a little bit at the moment, you'd imagine. Mind you, stranger things have happened. We've seen 6-9 win a game with only 3 players in the lobby, so it could happen. Speak of the Devils, here they are, having some team bonding time in the middle of the circle, as you'd imagine they would be. They often find themselves in that middle of the circle zone, and then they find the zone running around following them for the rest of the game.
Have a look at 9K here rotating up the hill. They've got a couple of vehicles, all 4 players, actually 3 vehicles for themselves. So we don't really see that much use of vehicle or usage out of vehicles on Sanhok, as the map is so much smaller than the others.
Certainly is, as we do see the shifts coming in eventually, but at the moment it is just that southern side of the map, or the southwestern side, which is, by the way, where I'm from in Australia, southwest. It's good stuff. That will be the one in use. No team rotating by water just yet. The bridges are going to start to get congested. It is northeast of boot camp that has 3 squads in it, as well as Crazy rotating across the southeastern side that might see some action. Nova do have to cross over from the North Island to the south eventually, but they might just wait until some action breaks out or till the next circle pops to do that, because at the moment they're not under a lot of pressure to do it. But apart from that, Sanhok has greeted us with a bit of a slower start. Of course, there's 2 teams going down already, so it's not too bad, but this will be a bit of a lull in the action as teams decide they don't want to be the next to go, as that Team Solid player got very, very close to finding a man there. I'm not sure he wanted to find that man either. Look how close these guys are. Look how close this EVO player is to Team Solid.
He's just sneaking.
He
lying
drove
behind
right.
a tree.
He drove right in front of that player, by the way, in that Ronnie. Oh, they are almost touching, and he does manage to get the spray down and the finish as well. So EVO, they've given up their position a little bit, but
Yeah, he's just
taking
fine.
flight. The snake in the grass has been found. And
Gets confirmed immediately. Team Solid not too happy about that one. Immediately just running in and destroying him.
neither would I. He had no right to be there at all. I can't believe he didn't get spotted. That would for sure be in the bloopers because that was a bit hilarious, that. Almost jumped on his head. Circle shifts in. It is going to go towards that southwestern area. Ruins are still in play as well, so I want that to be the ending circle. Pioneer
That'd be nice.
could be played as well, but Pioneer has water running through it, so it's kind of unlikely. Lots of teams on the rotate now from that eastern side. No team is in the water, so that's always good. Looks like Nova will try and make their way across now. They have a little bit of land to breach themselves on, but there is Rush to Die there. Probably paying attention to that rotate. They are getting in the Ronnie, in the Ronald, and trying to find themselves somewhere to pull up. Toyota Hilux, Ronnie, whatever you want to call it. Here he is. They're actually going to go to the bridge. That's a questionable play, but no one is camping it, so it might just work out for them.
In the downtime, by the way, I'm busy Googling around trying to find out what the kill record is for professional PUBG. I'm not having a lot of luck so far, but I have found the longest, this is of 2 years ago, so it might have been broken, but what do you think the distance is for the longest recorded kill in PUBG? This is as of 2 years ago, so it may have been broken.
600?
You're off by a factor of 10.
Huh? What?
6.7 kilometers from Stalba in Erangel to Primorsk, apparently. I don't know. It hasn't been specified how it happened, but that was like the...
Stalba to Primorsk?
Yeah, so that was released by Player Unknown apparently 2 years ago.
Well, it must be an official stat if it's released by Player Unknown, so it must be recorded, but I'm just trying to think. I mean, obviously bullets can... Well, a normal bullet.
Did someone grab like an AWM and just shoot the sky randomly while they were running?
And it just dropped on them or something? I don't know.
I might... We'll ignore the kill record thing for now. I'm going to see if I can find out how that happened.
Yeah, that's a... okay. 6 kilometers?
6.7.
6.7?
Yep.
I can't even run that far. 6.7, I mean, no, that's a silly statistic, though. That's got to be some anomaly, and we do see another snake in the grass claiming a kill. That's Disturbed getting their 5th, and that's another Team Solid player that's been upset by a snake, so got to watch out for them, as they do come up and bite you if you step near them. Much like in real life, actually, got to be very careful. They do blend in a lot of snakes, so got to make sure you don't step on them when you're in the long grass. I don't like it if you step on them, snakes. They get very, very upset. And they can't use their words either, because they don't have any. So they tend to resort to violence.
Oh, okay. That's unfortunate.
What?
Apparently it's a bug that I think has been fixed, but apparently it used to be if you downed someone and then drove away from them, it registered the distance when they bled out as how far you were from getting the kill.
He must have been in a Ferrari or something. That's
Either that or like his car just like bugged across the map or something. Who knows? It appears, apparently, according to this that I've found, a bullet disappears at about 1,200 meters.
Okay, that's reasonable. I mean, I'm not sure what the accuracy of that is in real life and the trajectory of...
I don't think bullets really disappear too much.
Well, no, but they would end up just dropping.
I mean,
due to gravity and
as far as I'm aware, just typical lethal range is like 2 kilometers or so. XG are going to cop a drop here as well from the Batman. Paris will get taken down. So bring our focus back into the game here as we do have XG. One of our squads who are up the top taking some fire. They do have themselves a decent position on this ridge line. A bit of cover that can be taken, but they have lost a player. Unfortunately, no recovery for Paris there. He got taken out immediately straight away.
Here we go. Next circle will be in play. Crazy in the south with loops, so that will be an interesting fight that breaks out if it does shift north. Where does it go? Bang! In the middle. Ruins are still in play. We still have a little bit of Pioneer in the area. Tambang is out now, you'd say. And
yep.
A lot of the teams have found themselves in the circle. It will be the Disturbed guys who have been fragging out so far that need to rotate the longest distance. Them and Crazy have the most work to do. Crazy will be rotating south before they rotate north. It looks like they're just heading southwest a little bit to try and find any opening they can. Maybe they have the information that the Loops players are in the area.
6-9, 9K, Team Solid and Red Canids all find themselves very central in this zone.
Yeah, well, Team Solid find themselves
Speaking of Team Solid, yeah, they find themselves taking shots from XG at quite some range.
Yeah, it is quite hard to confirm this kill now. And it looks like he will be rezzed behind that rock, so won't come of anything. Tell you what, if Mick was shooting, that would have gone through that rock.
Yeah.
Mick's crazy.
He is. I mean, he's still here. He's still up. He got knocked out really early last game, but
yeah,
he's still in it this time, so I don't think we're really seeing him get too much on the board just yet, but hasn't really been too much of a chance yet. We'll see what XG are able to pull off with him when they do have to push in further. For now, I mean, we're hearing a bit of gunfire going back and forth, but it seems to be mostly just poking at a bit of a distance.
Well, XG, unfortunately for them, they have two pretty strong squads at their back of Nova and the Batman. So a hungry Batman will try and claim as many points as he can, and Nova, as we saw last game, weren't a stranger to knocking out some of the top teams. They knocked out Red Canids, they knocked out 6-9. So they're not too afraid of getting into a gunfight today. They seem pretty hungry for it. Crazy still haven't decided if they're Arthur or Martha or if they're rotating in or not, as they're in the southwestern side, just running around.
Look who's getting kills. It's your boy Duck.
It's my boy Duck onto the side of Disturbed. He's managed to turn that 3-man squad into a 2. So unfortunately for Disturbed, getting 5 kill points so far. It's a decent start, but not quite able to convert. It is 6-9 who are starting on Loops. Loops went a little bit too close to the Beast and have found one of their players in the grave. So 6-9 marking their territory in the circle already. This is the fight we were talking about, 6-9 Loops. Loops have managed to get themselves into the houses across the road, but not friendly neighbours, 6-9. They don't usually like
They're
company.
very selfish neighbours. They like having all the buildings to themselves. It's not an attitude that'll get you too far in, modern society, but in Battlegrounds, it tends to work quite well, as you do want to get everyone out of the huts where you can. You can already see they're getting jealous and setting their opponents' houses on fire, or at least attempting to.
Don't do that, by the way.
Wouldn't recommend it.
Don't set your neighbour's house on fire. You get arrested for that. Go
you
to jail.
Do indeed. By the way, I found a leaderboard tracking kills, and it seems that the longest actual legitimate kill is around the 1100 meter mark.
Okay, that's reasonable.
So there's a couple between like 1100 and 1K, and then a bunch in the 990s.
Well, I mean, when we've seen the stats pop up for the PMCO, you've seen about that 300 mark as
I
like
think
the higher end.
375, maybe something like that. Might be the longest we've seen. Loops trying to rotate a player in for backup here, but getting shelled by 6-9 players from the top of the ridgeline with a much better angle for them. Yeah, Loops, they're stuck in between two 6-9 forces, I believe. Yeah,
you don't want to be doing that. Don't want to get stuck too close to 6-9.
Let me just read the map. They are on the one side of the huts, but they're still not very far for Loops to go here. They can get a little way out of these huts using them for cover, but if they go too far up that hill behind them, they'll be exposed once again, and they've got the zone to their backs.
Yeah, speaking of the zone, it's about to pop, and it's it's gone just bang smack in the center. So Team Solid, Red Canids, 9K, they're looking okay at the moment for the zone. Crazy will have to make a run in. 6-9 will have to make a short jaunt in after they deal with the threat of Loops. Batman, Nova, XG standoff on the western coast has kind of dissipated as the Batman have headed south, Nova have headed north, and XG have just kind of stood there looking pretty.
Where'd all our opponents go? We swear they were right here. Nova are actually coming towards them again, but doesn't look like they're going too close. Red, in the meantime, Red Cannon's getting involved in Rush to Die, as those guys are
on the north,
both in the north side of the circle, so they are in the zone for now, but Rush to Die are copping some pretty heavy losses here.
Yeah, Rush to Die might be in the bin in a minute if they keep losing players to the Red Cannons. There is Solo Safe looking to come
look at this as well. Red Cannons are charging them.
Yeah, they are. They're not scared of anything, the Red Cannons, as there is only one Rush to Die player remaining alive. He might be trying to raise his mates up. That's a long throw. Not sure if it's going to land too hot. Nope. Quite off the mark, as this last player from Rush to Die is all alone too. He's nowhere near his mates. He's just stuck at this rock.
Yeah, I mean, Red Scanners have been shelling him with grenades. None of them have quite gone far enough, but looks like what they might do instead is just pop out, try and make some space for their player who's pushing, or they could just run straight in. They've spotted him out. There's not really a lot he can do. That will be Rush to Die by bowing out in 14th here. Another one of our teams who do need themselves some more points. I mean, they're looking pretty safe for now. They started the day on 116, so they should be all good, but you still don't want to be putting yourself in any more danger than necessary.
Certainly, as the Nova guys are starting to push in on XG. XG are holding the compound on the edge of the circle as 6ix9ine are closing in on finishing up Loops, as I believe Loops has only got one player remaining and hasn't really got much to go in terms of room to move. Nova are pushing in on XG. This is good. This is Nades coming out. Smoke wall to try and get a bit closer to that compound. One of the XG players is rotating. He's managed to survive the
He's lucky
cross.
that Semix didn't have an AR out to begin with. He had the mini use. He had to go in and get in close. Wasn't ready for that player to be at long range. So safe for now. This gunfight will kick off here. Now, your boy Mixera is still up. He's currently still our kill leader. We'll see if he's feeling it today or not, as we're yet to really see him get stuck into a gunfight. This movement around the fence might work out pretty well for XG. But there's also Nova players in very, very close.
Yeah, they have been heard in the position. He's been heard running around this building. We've seen the Batman engage in the south onto 9K, as well as teams in that area are starting to get messy, but it is getting messy in our screen now as EVO are still fragging out, but it is Nova and the side of XG trading blows, trading grenades as well. As one of the disturbed players gets dropped in your kill feed, but we are on board. 9K are actually entering into this with a third party as well, so this is causing all sorts of trouble. Mixera is the last player alive for his squad. He's going for a revive to try and bolster the troops, but there are 3 players from Nova on the deck as 9K really have been putting hurt onto this fight from a distance. We've seen lots of kills in the kill feeds go out. 6ix9ine are starting to bully the Pioneer players.
Might just deny a couple of revives there.
Mick?
I think they've just about moved out of it. That could have been really big, and now, yeah, he's copping a lot of spray as well. So Mick's going to try and take his time to get the first aid kit up. He knows that Nova are concerned about trying to get those revives if they can, so he does have a second, or at least he's reasoning that he has a second, and he's called it right for now. He so desperately wants to put grenades on these guys before they can be healed, but he's left a little bit too late. Unfortunately, Nova are going to be back to full strength.
Yeah, full strength, but they are pretty low as they have to met up. That nade will find one of the knocks again, but Mick's getting pushed, and he's been slam dunked with a nade as well. He's going in the dirt, and that is XG out and done. As Team Solid, I believe it is, on the high ground, put some shots in, really preventing that rush from coming in. And
we just lost Guardians Imperium as well. A couple teams go down.
The Batmen are in the zone. Crazy is gatekeeping them out, which is good for them, but the last Loops player goes down too. So now we lost Loops. We've lost the side of XG, and we've lost Guardians Imperium all in the space of a few seconds. 6ix9ine cleared up Guardians Imperium into Pioneer. Nova has gone down as well.
Did all of Nova just go down to the zone?
Yeah, they went down. Not to the zone. Team Solid on the high ground, really giving them some of the business.
I was looking at the map, not the screen. I just saw all their players go down at once.
Last player from EVO is around and about, but that will be another team going down as well as Team Solid safe take a bow. 9K are getting pressured as well by Crazy. Crazy on the road. No cover. This player from the blue might actually upset this. Gets the knock, but will he be able to get inside the zone? It's running away. Yeah, he'll be fine, but he is the last player alive.
Yeah, he won't be able to get his teammates.
On the road again. Oh, he might be able to get the next Crazy player on the road as well.
That's a free confirm for him, so some more points on deck. Our alive board for a second there. We had 2 teams with 4 players up, one who needs a res. Looking at this circle, 6ix9ine. They've got control of the circle and they're on their own. This is looking pretty good for them now, as Crazy will bow out as well. Red Canids with a couple players up to the north, Team Solid to the west, along with 9K and the last player from Crazy. So 6ix9ine, there's 2 buildings in this zone. They look like they want to get at least one of them, as Kevin's just sprinting into the zone.
Yeah, on you, Kev. He's probably tanker prone on the zone. Red Canids approaching from the north are going to be the biggest threat for the side of 6ix9ine as the nade rolls out. Will it slam home? It will. It's a hole in one, and we've seen Crazy. Good position. Not as many kills as they probably would have liked, but now 9K moving in with 3. Going to start the answer is 6ix9ine are getting peppered. That's a nice shot from our Red Canids player on board with him. As action will break out, but he is going to actually take no damage from the zone as he managed to time the ticks quite well. It's totally intentional, by the way.
Ooh, totally calculated.
Edge camping this now.
Oh yeah, Red are in trouble here. They're about to start taking a lot of damage from the zone. If they move out from cover, they're going to cop bullets from 6ix9ine. Yes, indeed, they will. There you go.
Out.
Yep, that's Red Cannon's done. So 6ix9ine versus 9K will be our final fight. 9K have found themselves that southern compound inside the circle here, and 6ix9ine are going to go in and look for them.
You do not want to be in this compound or this area right now. It is the low ground. If you go inside a compound, you imagine the circle will shift away from it, and all of a sudden you'll have to get out. Well, unless 6ix9ine's in the compound. They know 2 players are behind that rock. So
Yeah.
they've got at least information on 2 of the 3
Oh,
players.
there you go. There's that circle. It does indeed shift away from the 9K guys here. 6-9, though, going for the push. This is pretty risky, but they do have the majority of 9K locked down. They're just going to get some grenades out there as well.
If he landed that Molotov, just would have been game over. And it looks like he has landed it pretty decently as the players start to drop down, as we have more flanks coming out as well to try and find the players behind that rock. One is knocked, one is low. We are seeing 9K being pushed into a corner, and it looks like, well, he can't wallbang. It's just not how that works. Maybe they're showing his teammates where he thinks the player is, but
He's behind this rock, guys. Another 9K player goes down. They've only got 2 remaining now, and one's very low indeed. It is looking like 6-9 are going to get themselves another chicken dinner here, as they do get some more damage on another player, and at this point you think they're just going to be collapsing onto 6-9. Indeed they will. There's Adino from behind with the flank. This should be all done, and it's 6-9 who grab it. And how's this for a statistic for them? In their last 6 games, they've won 4 and come top 2 in 5. They came 3rd in the last one in placings, but they still came 2nd overall. So if we're talking overall points, they have come in the last 6 games, top 2 in all of them, and won 4.
it's just not fair.
That's stupid.
It is stupid. We have seen... It's strange, though, because
12 kill
6-9
chicken
weren't
dinner
that
as well.
dominant in the groups, right? They weren't bad, but they weren't dominant.
This, right?
They weren't this.
They weren't, you know, that's another 32 points for them. So they weren't pushing their way towards 300 points good in the group stage, that's for sure.
They have another 100-point day.
I mean,
I'm not...
that's it. I mean,
real anymore.
their last game was low scoring for them, because while they did get a 2nd place, I mean, I think it was like just over 20 points. So
Yeah, it was pretty...
that's low for them, but they've been getting 30s every other game, and this one's another 32. So, I mean, that's just... The consistency on that is insane. I mean, they also won, I think, 3 games, 2 or 3 games in the group stage as well. So
Yeah.
they've certainly been having themselves a very good time. In the semi-finals, they've come top 2 in the last 6 games, winning 4. I think this will be their 6th chicken dinner in total for the semis.
Yeah, one to talk about, though, is the side of Team Solid. They were upset by 2 snakes in the grass, but they still managed to claw their way up to 4th place due to some good positioning with 7 kills.
yeah.
So that's actually some pretty decent points for them. If they can continue to maybe find that, maybe a little bit more, a chicken dinner on top, then it's not too bad. They might have an outside shot, but you'd think with Batmen getting a 6th place, they'd be moving up and almost they'd still be ahead of the curve and staying in that top 8.
EVO, actually some valuable placement points at least for them. I think they
only got 1 kill.
1 kill, so didn't get many kills on deck, but at least they get some placements, and they're another team who does need them. But I mean, here's the conundrum I'm in, right?
Right.
I want to do nothing but talk about how good 6-9 are because of
Yeah,
how well they've
it's
been
very
playing,
easy.
right? Because they've, you know, we've talked about the stats. They're winning everything.
Yep.
But their storyline isn't the one that matters. The storyline we care about for the day is the teams in our bottom 8 who are trying to avoid elimination. Like, the more damage 6-9 does, great, they're inflating their own ego a little bit, but I mean, other than that, they're just trying to break 300 points for the fun of it, I suppose. It's the teams in the bottom who matter. Either way, we are going to go to a short break for our last 2 matches of the day. We'll have a look at the scoreboard and see where everyone is standing right after this. Another team coming in here. This is getting difficult for the Brazilian killers as the WarMaster fight's going to be cleaned up for them, but still worried. There's another white ghillie here in play with Kako. So we've got
have an equal win rate or better, which
Well, that means when we get to the actual finals, they're going to win 3 out of 10 games.
yeah,
which
and you'd
is
think that would be enough.
plenty,
Unless someone
surely.
wins
7.
or 7.
Which I doubt. Either way,
Oh,
Influence Rage here under fire. Again,
They're not going to be winning 7.
they really probably...
Enough to get back in, so EVO all of a sudden down to 2 players. 6ix9ine do have 3. That rotation isn't too bad for them.
Wait.
He killed him by falling. He dragged him down.
Okay, it seems that way. 6ix9ine now doing a whole lot of work here. I mean, they're potentially about to take this one out. It should be all done and dusted here. There's the last kill.
Hey, ooh, he doesn't get tagged though. This Kato are getting lit
Oh
up
my
by the
goodness.
Influence Rage guys. Swap weapons, boy. Get the other one out and start having another crack at it. This last one aren't coming out great.
Yeah, Myth's going to risk it. Actually wants to find
This
these
is a
guys.
beautiful
And,
angle,
oh my
though.
goodness, so well played. They're going to find all
All
of
of
them.
Team Queso
That
gone.
will be Team Queso out. EVO and there was 1 player left as well, and they are no longer in the zone. 6ix9ine have played it perfectly. They're leaving their last player in the edge of this zone. They've just got to clean out this one last player. It's actually doing pretty close.
Both of these
Cover for
teams.
now.
Both these teams had a pretty poor game 2
Oh boy.
XG and Cream, so neither of these teams are going to want to go
This
out
is about to
early.
be so rough for Brazilian killers. IN. Are they
IN
actually giving it up? The
They might
timing,
think-
they might just be leaving here. This may well turn out in Brazilian killers' favor. They're about to start coming across.
And then it's all over for you. Jonathan so far has been very bloody strong. What are you playing at, mate? Okay, never mind.
Not the
Very
greatest.
weak. He went for the
Yeah, I quite like snowmobiles on this map.
They feel very comfortable to drive, so that's good. Stick to the ground. Oh, my
Oh, talk
lord.
about comfortable to drive. Tempo, trying to go for that 360 barrel roll.
She's alright.
5 points because they did stick the landing.
Yasha up the stairs, does find the knock, refrag from Unique's teammates. Kitsune looking directly through the window, a really strong play here.
2 downs, very low HP, and he goes. Doesn't get the knock. Hang
Actually
on a
gets
minute.
him. How's he survived through that?
Unique, they're really on the ropes now, but finally.
Spraying down on actually,
And
and they're going for it. Is this going to be execution? Yes, Iraqi Elite is
Oh,
going
he
for
gets
it.
hit in a
And
car. Quiet, false.
Rivalry could go ahead there at the end of the game if it continues on. S7 at the moment, 4 kills in the bag. Oh, you're sliding. Ooh. Alright. He made it into the water eventually.
Yep, nope, we're fine. Nope, they're still falling in. All right, well.
2 more chances for our teams in the bottom 8 to try and drag their way out and avoid elimination at the end of the day, as it is the final day of the semi-finals here in the South American region of the PMCO Full Split for 2019. My name is Brainstorm. I'm still with Smash here as we're halfway through our day, halfway through the last day of the semi-finals, and if you've missed the action or any of the action, you've missed quite a bit. Luckily for you, it's all available on YouTube. Head over to the PUBGMOBILE eSports YouTube channel, chuck a subscription there and check it all out. And if you want to play the game, of course, it's completely free, available on the Google App Store, Google Play Store, even in the iOS App Store, other way around. So if you want to get in all the action, there you go. You can either watch the game, play the game. I mean, do both if you want. I'm not going to tell you what to do. Either way, we do have to continue moving into our semi-finals here. And the first thing we need to do is, well, in a second here, we'll be having a look at the scoreboard for our last game.
Yeah, we'll find out who's been the big movers and the shakers. This is the top of the board. Well, this was really the game that was. You see Crazy getting 8 points there. Batman, 9 points. That's some good points for them. Team Solid getting 15. They're going to need a lot more than that to get up into the top area, the top 16.
6-9 get 32.
It's just another day really in the office.
Just another day at the office. You know, top 2, 6 games in a row.
Yeah, Red Canids, 9K, 6-9, Nova. None of those guys needed points at all. They had a wealth of points to hand out if they really wanted to. They could be Oprah, or you get a point, you get a point. But
you all get a point. Look under your seats, there's a point.
There is a point under my seat. But unfortunately for me, I'm not in the tournament, so it doesn't matter. But and unfortunately for them, they can't give out points because...
I mean, would you want to at this
not
point?
Really.
I mean, you want to
6-9 wants all the points to themselves, you'd imagine.
Certainly appears that way. I mean, when we have a look at the bottom 8 here in a tick, that's when we'll see how our team's going to be moving up, as of course, that's what we're talking about, right? As much as it's fun to see our teams on top doing really well and continuing to get stupid amounts of points, that's not what matters. It's our teams down the bottom who need to be making some moves here. Loop's only with 2 for the day. That's for the game. That's not great for them. Who else needed points? Solo Safe with 5. WarMaster with 1.
Yeah.
I mean,
rough stuff.
Yeah. I mean, the good thing is that they are, like, the teams above them, all the teams below them still have games to play. All the teams, or a lot of teams above them have played all of their games.
Yeah, so it's easy to
at least there's a fixed point that they have to catch up to, right? Yep. But it's still not going to be easy. We said 6-9 were looking to break 300. They're nearly there in just 2 games.
They're going to do it.
So they're absolutely going to do it.
They're absolutely going to do it. But that's pretty wild, the fact that we have 4 of our top 5 teams with still 2 games to play.
Yep.
So we thought that...
Well, yeah, that is stupid.
That is actually crazy to think about. With Influence Rage being the only team that's completed their games inside the top 5. So also crazy to think about. 6-9 has double the chicken dinners of anyone else.
Yeah.
In the semi-finals.
The other thing that's impressive for me is that Brazilian Killers, I mean, they've played all their games, so I'm not going to talk about them too much, but they're in the top 8 and potentially going to stay there, even though they haven't got a chicken dinner. I mean, I think they will be moving out of the bottom 8, just given that we still have a few teams below them with a lot of games to play. But, I mean, Bastardos have chicken dinner, they're in the top 8, same with Rush to Die. Killers team, hanging on by a thread. The Batmen have made themselves almost safe.
Well, I mean, EVO and Batman both are in a bit of a danger zone if they do have bad games.
I mean, that said, Real have played all their games, they're only 8 points ahead.
Yeah, I mean, theoretically, though, Batman and EVO could both go out and only finish on 109 points for the day, and then all of a sudden those teams that are on the bottom might surge up, as we did have a few teams around that 80-point mark, and that is very gettable, 80-odd to 109. That's 1 big game's worth of points there. You can imagine anything above Real would be 100% safe.
Yep, you'd think so, as that gives you 1 free place moving up. Killers team are all but done. They're only 4 points ahead of Loops, and Loops, you'd think you're going to get 4 points in 2 games, so things aren't looking too good for them. WarMaster as well, still on pace. So let's stick with Real is the safe point for now, right? Because they're the closest team that's finished all their games.
Yeah.
That's 115. That's 25 points in 2 games. That's very doable for all of these teams. Well, I mean, they can't all do it.
Team Solo Safe and WarMaster. They're the ones you're going to be looking at now. Those 2 have really important games coming up for them, because if they manage to net themselves double-digit points back-to-back, then all of a sudden they're in the top 16.
Yeah.
And they've just snuck in. But if they manage to drop out, then sides like EVO will be very pleased with themselves, because then they'll find themselves in the top 16.
I mean, Killers team are playing for Loops to go out with 1 point in the next 2 games. That's the only hope they have.
Killers team, they're pretty much done, mate.
Yeah, I mean,
they're pretty much done.
They're safe by 4 points, so
yeah.
I don't like their chances of staying in. There's still a possibility if the other teams below them completely screw the pooch, I suppose. But look, we're getting close to knowing who our bottom 8 are going to be. I mean, I think the bottom half of the bottom 8 aren't really going anywhere, but what's exciting is that we have like, what, from 19th through 13th, roughly, that sort
That's
of
right,
region,
area.
all of those teams can still change.
Certainly can. It's going to be a bit of a pressure cooker situation because this lobby has a lot of those teams active in it. It's got EVO in there as well. They're going to be really hoping that teams like WarMaster, teams like Loops to an extent, they kind of expect Loops to move up to that top 16, you would say, but I still feel like Crazy could make a dark horse run. They're the dark horse, really, of the situation. If they can have two big back-to-back games, then all of a sudden you find them in the top 16, but they're a little bit off the pace at the moment. They would need some big ones.
They certainly would. It's a lot of work to be done. And that's the thing, that's the difference. Because some of those teams in the bottom 8, like in the middle half of the bottom 8, they can do it with a couple big games.
Yep.
For teams like Loops and who else was it? It was WarMaster.
WarMaster.
They're only a couple points off the pace. They don't need two big games. They need two not going out in last place games.
Solo Safe was in that conversation as well, as they were right on that cusp of WarMaster Loops area. So those three are the three that you want to look at now: Solo Safe, WarMaster, and Loops.
Yeah.
Batman have kind of put themselves in a position to be in the top 16.
Yeah. I mean, they're already there, and they've still got 2 games to play, so you'd think they're only going to move up from here. I mean, a few of our teams have all their games done. Yeah, I mean, they can, of course.
But it's pretty rough if they do. That would require those 3 teams, Loops, WarMaster, and Solo Safe, to have some pretty big games coming up. And Batman, of course, to have some pretty bad games.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Batman would need to not do very well at all. So it's still too hard to call if teams are safe or not just yet, apart from, obviously, the top 10. They'll be fine, but we're starting to get a bit of an idea of which teams it's still possible to make this recovery for. For some teams, they've just got to keep doing as they're doing and they'll make it through. For some others, we need some serious heroics before the end of the day, and they've got 2 games, 2 games left to do it. The next chance they have is going to be over on Miramar, which is where we're moving into in just a second. So we'll see how these teams go as we do have a look at Miramar here.
I need some serious gameplay out of this Miramar map. It's my favorite. I love the desert. Grew up in it, so I'm a bit biased towards it. The Win 94 is the unique weapon of choice on this map. We've seen some funky circles go around, but yesterday we had a really funky one actually in the North America region. But at the moment, it's been mainly those northern side circles that have dominated. We'll have to find out what we are gifted today as we see the players paint the plane. It's a pretty bling one today, so that's been the theme of this lobby so far, is a pretty bling plane.
Yeah, we either have the bling plane or the alien-looking plane.
Yeah, that was Center B doing the alien stuff. He's a bit of a weird unit. El Pozo to the islands is where we're going. We'll finish in Impala.
Nothing about Center B. Purely
absolutely
on his plane
nothing.
choices.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you're picking an alien plane and you have all these choices, wonderful plane skins, you've got like a dragon one, you've got the big red one, you've got
the bling one.
I'm sure there's like hundreds of them probably.
Yeah.
And you choose the wacky, gross alien-looking man's. He's trying to
Maybe he's trying to scare the rest of the lobby,
yeah,
exactly. When they jump out of the plane and see the alien, they're like, and then they get spooked by Brazilian killers as well.
I do get spooked easily. It's true.
Either way, we are moving into Miramar for the final time here for the semi-finals. We've got one more Erangel after this. So let's see how we go. Got Evo on your screen having a bit of looting there in the...
Dropped off in El Pozo pretty quickly. They are going to be joined by one other squad in there. I believe that is the side of Nova, so that's not really a squad you want to be sharing a town with. Let's have a look at some of these squads that need loot. Hacienda del Patron, just north of that. That's where WarMaster's going. Looks like Water Tree.
Damn it, PUBG.
Banks back center.
I
Banks
want
back
this
center
Eastern
circle. They're not going to get one.
I know, but I want it.
Well, who else are we looking at? Solo Safe. They've gone straight into Los Leones, which is in the circle kind of, so they'll be able to take their time looting up. They are the only squad going in there. Who else do we want to look at here?
Pretty much everyone's actually already in the circle and good to go, so that's a good start.
Loops have gone to Chumacera. Chimichanga. And
Chimichanga, that's the one.
so they've got Rush to Die in the area, but it looks like they'll be fine for now. So, I mean, all the teams that definitely need the loot and definitely need the placement points, they've found themselves in pretty decent drop locations. There's actually Team Solid versus GI in Impala, so that's Guardians, Imperium, and Team Solid being very, very close to each other.
I mean, it doesn't look like there's too much happening over there for now, so things are all tame in Impala, but I mean, we'll see if that fight does kick off further down the road. That's teams who both could do with some extra points, so See how it works out. Either way, I think this is going to be a bit of a quiet start to our day. As despite the fact we've got a few teams on top of each other, everyone is in the zone, so unless two teams run directly into each other, I doubt we'll see too much combat, but we will, of course, keep an eye on a few of these teams. For one, looks like EVO and Nova are pretty much on top of each other, as well as, I believe it's Disturbed and XG.
Yeah, we've seen EVO kind of avoid early game engagements in that last game in Pioneer where they headed for the hills when PDZ was doing their best. Doing their best is what you call it.
Doing their best.
Doing their best. But, so I'd imagine if they do spot Nova in town, they'll just book it somewhere else or book it together away from any sort of conflict, as they are pacifists and they do enjoy life and not war, which is an odd choice to be playing this game if you enjoy life and not war.
Yeah, it's not the most peaceful of games, this one.
No, but it's a fun one.
Oh, absolutely. That was making no judgment on the fun factor, purely on, you know, it's not exactly a relaxing, you know, it's not like...
Can be relaxing,
I was trying to think of like any sort of farming simulator, but I'm not getting any names that come to mind. Either way, Stardew, there you go. That'll
Farming
do.
Simulator is
Farming simulator's a game, that's true.
game.
That's true.
But it can be relaxing when you get into a car, you drive around a Miramar, and you're cruising on the roads. Don't go off-road though, because you'll end up on your back. So, look at these teams. Look at these dudes.
Look at these dudes. Look at this guy. Sitting at some decent range from each other. Again, no one should be prioritizing these engagements early on, particularly the teams that still need points.
Yeah, they're just chilling. So, I mean, this can be the thing about PUBG in general, is that if you get these nice, really calm circles and really calm planes, you can get these slow early games where teams are kind of just happy to go about their business, go about their days. Take the first 10 off, fellas. Pack it in.
Pack it in. We'll get a fire going. You don't really need one in the desert. Just put your food that you want to cook on the ground somewhere and it should be right.
Yeah. Put a pan on the ground, chuck a steak in it, you'll be right. The shots do rain out. This is onto a little combi van, making a rotation.
Boy. We've had several discussions about the pros and cons of the combi. I quite like it for its aesthetics, but I think one thing we can both agree on is that it's a very big target to shoot at.
Yeah, it is quite big and beefy. It does take a bit getting through, though, as there is a bit to it. A bit thicker than the average lass, but that's all right. Solo safe is still in. Losiona's hanging out.
Oh, there's a car just shooting across in the background there. We can't see who it is because there's no nameplate, but they're just off living the dream. Like, see you guys. Yeah. You stay over there and do your thing. We're out.
Bit of push bashing. Nothing wrong with that.
Oh, this is building bashing more than anything else for Rush to Die. Not sure if they would have their medium weight vehicle license.
Probably not. 3 in the van. Will they choose to use the off-road? Yeah, they will. That's a risky one, as we do see Guardians Imperium poking their heads out at Team Solid, I believe that is. They're hanging out on the southern side. Or it's Impala, so it's more east than southern. Well, I'm just hanging out here.
Yeah, we're just sort of chilling. Much like most of our teams here, no one's really too keen to kick things off. And that's the thing, like the pressure for all of our teams who are still in the bottom 8 is starting to build as they know this is one of the last chances they have. It's second last game. As you say, they are rotating right down the eastern side of the map, so they could potentially go all the way around, try and come in at the south.
Yeah, they could also run straight into XG and wear Mixera's bullets to the face, which would be quite unfortunate for EVO.
I don't recommend that as a course of action.
Team Solo Safe have nobody around them for kilometers. So they're just going to be cruising around, getting to know the scenery. Hope they got snacks or something. I don't like going on long drives without snacks.
I mean, they got some nice tunes. Bit of what sounded like classical music there going on.
Tunes don't satiate my hunger. Those EVO have pushed in where XG was, but XG have decided
discussions with their buggy.
Yeah, and the discussions weren't friendly by the looks of things. But they've pushed in towards the center of the circle, so EVO will be pretty safe on their rotation. EVO sent one player in right. You can just see him on the minimap now coming into the picture. Mixera is knocking tyres out, being right nuisance.
Nuisance was exactly the word I was going to choose. I'd agree with you there. It's just being annoying, which is going to be a bit frustrating for the teams inside there. There you go, tyres do pop. It's these Rush to Die guys who'll go back to their car and just be like,
very nice, actually.
Man, One disturbed player over here in the outside of this compound who could potentially try and play spoiler for them.
Can't
But
imagine off-road
once
times
again,
cheap.
disturbed are split everywhere, and you're right, they're probably not.
No,
I mean,
yeah, Disturbed have been. This has been a common theme for them today. So I don't know if this is a set strategy going in, or maybe they just hate each other. But they have been pretty split all day, as we see a VSS God try and come out. He's only got 10 in the clip, no extendo mag for him. They will get a knock onto that Disturbed player with the VSS itself. So he is alone in the wilderness, and if I knock a Disturbed player at this point, I'm just going to go push him and thirst him because he is alone. You would. It looks like the players kind of know that. They are being a little bit cautious, but chances are, if you knock a Disturbed player, he's going to be rather lonely.
Sad.
And distressed.
Yep.
Which is sad because they're just running now to put down a helpless man's.
It's in the name.
They can't help him up.
They're going to be disturbed.
Yeah, it's quite disturbed. We don't actually see him get finished off,
I mean,
thankfully, because it can be quite brutal.
yeah, looking at his health, it doesn't look like he has been just yet. But
He's probably crawling for his life.
yeah. No, we don't need to see that. Have a look at
Definitely.
XG instead, taking over a little shanty town by the looks of things.
Yeah.
A bunch of what looks like weatherboard and tin houses.
Would stand up to a hurricane, but would stand up to bullets, apparently. The circle has shifted center. Bang spent center, as expected. San Martin's in play. Hacienda del Patron's one of my favorite places in the game. Picardo's still in there, but nobody's going to be using it. It's all about the hills just to the east of Picardo, around the little crater area.
I don't know what it is with that map number 3s and having really slow-moving circles, but we had the same thing on Vikendi yesterday. It went all the way down to the very final zone.
Yeah, I was not pleased by that. But that was Vikendi. This is my favorite map, Miramar. It will treat me right.
So now you're living the dream.
Yeah. We saw the first blood come out. It was the Rush to Die guys getting that nice knockout. We actually only have 15 teams in the lobby. So
Rush to Guy is also a fantastic name.
Rush to Guy is actually a good one.
Yeah, I don't think we've lost anyone, so...
PDZ might have lost themselves.
Are they just...
I can't see them anywhere.
I don't think they got eliminated. Are they just bowed out?
They might just bow out.
Maybe. I mean, look, I can't really say I blame them at this point.
No.
It wasn't looking too great.
It's not fantastic, but that's all right. 15 teams, 59 alive. It's okay. We are on board with Nova. They will show us some nice action as they are starting to be aware of the Rush to Die guys in the... What is that little power plant? Power grid? That's what it's called. I knew it was power something.
I would have accepted the little power plant. That was also okay. Probably need some new fences, though. It's not particularly skilled.
Yeah, I wouldn't be wanting my power to come from that. That's why I trust the Sun and the Sun only, as Nova gets a knock onto the Rush to Die guys. 100% solar, baby. Solar power is definitely the future, fellas.
You're out here just praising the sun?
Praising the Sun every day. Wind power isn't a bad alternative, but...
No, praise the sun.
When it stops being blowy, it's not nice. But praising the Sun is definitely the play.
Especially as Aussies, we do get potentially too much sun. A bit of sun.
Yeah, look, the national, what is it? The Skin Cancer Association or whatever it is, they'll say we get a bit too much sun, but
Probably.
it also keeps them employed, so it's not too bad. As EVO starts to wear some knocks themselves.
It's really dark, but you're right.
The EVO can't afford to lose their squad this early, and it looks like they have lost a lot of players there.
Yep. I nearly said they've been eliminated, but we started with 15, so nobody's actually out just yet. That said, I think they have lost two or three players by... Judging by how many times they just came up in the kill feed there,
Yeah.
6ix9ine have found themselves a lovely little spot
Where
to live.
is EVO's last player, actually?
No,
No, he's dead, actually. So there we go. The EVO's last
EVO
player is in
out.
a grave. And that's not what EVO wanted, because they were on the safe side.
They
But if they
started
had
the day
two
in
bad,
15th, but
if they had two bad games, then all of a sudden those teams just on the outside of the 16 could catch them up pretty quickly.
yep. So no safety for them to be found just yet. Crazy have found themselves a big old hill to chill out on top of. Rush to Die, still hanging out in this power thing, power plant, power whatever we decided it was.
Little gritty in the griddle.
Little grid. I mean, a griddle's something different entirely, but
It's totally different. It's crazy how English be like that sometimes.
really do be like that.
I really do be like that.
Nova are a team who are, well, they've been one of our better teams so far over the whole tournament, so it's potentially a little bit scary for those teams inside that power griddle, as we're calling it now.
They're getting real frisky in there as they are rotating all the way around on the side of Nova. Not sure if they're going to try and take themselves out of the cars. They have Hacienda del Patron and San Martin are our hotspots now, as we do see the fight kick off. This is Guardians Imperium. That bloke jumped out of a car. You don't want to be doing that, especially on the hard desert floor. So they're getting picked off now by Solo Safe, a team that, if they do get points, can threaten EVO's 16th or 15th position or wherever they are. Crazy weighing in on the conversation, knocking player out and about with that car explosion. So Guardians Imperium, a team that you'd say was all but done. They are all but done for this game too, as they've lost 2 or 3 players already. So
Not the greatest of starts for them.
hold up in
Team
that
Solo Safe, speaking of holding up, will not be doing that. They're going to jump on their bikes and roll out.
Well, Solo Safe were actually in 16th place at the start of the game, or start of the day, and they've managed to find themselves in that elimination zone thanks to efforts from the Batmen. And there's more sprays coming out. This is the red Canids on to 6-9, so 6-9 need to be... Well, 6-9 don't need to be doing anything, really.
Yeah, they can just hang out at this point. There's grenades being thrown in by red cannons, but I don't think they'll quite go far enough.
No.
They actually got a little bit close there, but looks
That
like
was-
everything is safe for now.
Should be right.
Should be right. Love that.
Solo Safe rotating on the northern side of the map, knowing that there are lots of squads between them and their chicken dinner. Nova are gatekeeping loops because they are bullies in a 2-2 split though, so it's not too bad. WarMaster on the northern side of San Martin, but there are a lot of teams in that southern side. That's where 6-9 and the side of XG find themselves as well. So heavy hitters in that area. Crazy are rotating in now as 6-9 start to wear more knocks from the red Canids guys. I believe that was a finish onto one of their players. Could have even been Skipper. Skipper!
Cap Gnome. By the way, looking back at that article I had up before, so thought we might need to fill some time. The one with the 7,000 meter or whatever it was kill.
Yeah.
Other stats from PUBG as of 2 years ago. Obviously, guns are the most deadly thing in the game in number of kills, right? As we see that now. I'm going to hold that question. We'll come back to that. Red Canids might be able to knock out some of 6-9's players here, but no, they're just going to throw the smokes on and go loot instead. So, guns are the most deadly thing in the game, right?
Yep.
But what do you think is the second biggest killer? This is as of 2 years ago, between Blue Zone, Red Zone, what was it? Blue Zone, Red Zone, and Cars, I think, were our
What about
options.
grenades?
Weren't listed. So, between Blue Zone, Red Zone, and Cars, what do you think is the next biggest
Oh,
killer?
you'd say the blue, wouldn't you?
You might, but you'd be wrong. So,
Oh, don't tell me it's vehiculars, are they?
as of this article, 703 million deaths from guns, 147 million from cars,
Wow.
5.4 million from blue, and 4.3 from the red zone.
4.3 from the red zone.
So the blue
not a
and the
bad
red are
effort.
almost equal, and cars have got like 10 times as much.
Why? Who's jumping out of their cars?
30 times as much, actually.
Look at that. That's
147 million people, apparently.
that's
I
a
mean,
lot
that
of
would also
people.
count for road kills, but...
close. Yeah, you're right. That's how cars work.
I mean, it would have been very dramatic and excellent if it landed on its slide, but then slid into the zone.
Yeah, it would have been fantastic, but the zone has moved. It is on San Martin, so we're definitely going to get some action in some compounds towards the end of the game, which is good, but also bad, because it means heal-offs can suddenly become a thing as one of the Rusted Eye guys does bleed out. Trying to rotate out of that power griddle isn't working out too well for them. Guardians Imperium in the blue, bathing in it at the moment, as they are trying to get a little bit of a wriggle on. Batmen are in Hacienda del Patron. They have a little bit of room to move, but they still need to get inside the circle. Team Solo Safe, mentioned them before, rotating north. They continued their merry ways and will land on the northern side of Hacienda.
I think they're
Pretty
flying past a
uncontested.
crate or two on the way over as well.
Yeah, finding themselves. That might be Guardians Imperium. Oh, that was their last play, or second last play bleeding out. Loops, they're starting to lose players from the play zone as they did come in through the power griddle area that's been hotly contested. Rush to Die are actually in a bit of a split here with their last few players.
Which is not always what you want. We've seen splits go wrong more than we've seen them go right
Oh, we had a
for
good
our
one
teams.
yesterday, or today with Batman in the previous game. They
We've had a
ended up
couple of
snaking in.
alright ones, but I think they have gone wrong more than they've gone right overall, and we've seen teams split their numbers.
Yeah, certainly.
So there's the classic D&D rule of don't split the party. Stay together, boys.
Split the party.
9k and a couple loss from the Batmen there. I mean, having a look at the size of this circle in comparison to how many players we have up, it's surely about to get pretty messy in here, as there is 47 players in what is realistically a very small area of this map. Crazy putting out some damage onto 6-9 of all teams, so that's a good start for them, but Guardians Imperium getting back in the action as well and third-partying them.
Yeah, it looks like Crazy have worn a loss to their troops. Last player from Guardians Imperium is snaking his way into the zone now as we see more teams become peppered down, stopped in their tracks really, as 6ix9ine are in a bit of a rough spot as there's no real clear path in anywhere near them. They'd have to rotate all the way north and probably not enough time for that.
Probably not.
Red Canids, though, they have found themselves on this top ridgeline area, which is so very powerful. So if they can maintain this positioning and the circle doesn't do them too dirty, you'd think they'd be in a really good position. As we see Solo Safe player wearing some bullets. It's not what you want to be doing. You want to keep them in your gun.
Or in the magazine on your belt or backpack, or I suppose backpack is where they keep the ammo, right?
Or in their enemy.
Store
your
them in there.
bullets in your enemies.
It's a very Schwarzenegger thing to say.
Yeah, it is actually.
No, I'm not even going to try the accent. 6ix9ine continuing to take a few casualties here. This is, of course, 6ix9ine team who've been top 2 for the last 6 games. And yes, they don't need the points. They haven't needed the points for about 4 games now. But it would still be nice to see them continue the streak. I think it's going to be difficult, though, as it looks like they've only got 2 up now.
Yeah, it's 2. Some of the disturbed guys starts to get knocked out. XG have found themselves a nice place to stay for their trip. Team Solid as well. They found themselves in some compounds more central. We'll have to see if it does shift towards that or the hills. As it will either be a hill finish. Oh my god, it's gone bang smack at center. That is centimeter perfect, to borrow a line from Big Bruce. As 9K are on the outside with Solo Save, Batman. They're all kind of even in their distance from the circle.
XG and Team Solid are already
I don't know
in,
how
so
teams are going to manage this. This is going to be hard.
Surely we lose like, okay, we're at 13 teams. I reckon
6.
we're at, yeah, I reckon we're at like 8 or 7 teams before the circle moves again.
6ix9ine and have lost 1 player as Myth has got knocked down, but he can get up again. Ain't nothing going to keep... Oh, no. That's keeping him down. Crazy have finished him off, so there's only one 6ix9ine player left.
Ain't nothing going to keep him down apart from Crazy and a lot of bullets.
Yep, there is another player from Disturbed going down as Team Solid is starting to use that compound to full effect. As crashing comes in, we see this is on board with the Team Solid guys in their little compound at the moment. You see them occupying the higher grounds as 6ix9ine's last player does fall, and that will be them out. Thank Christ for that.
The streak ends.
Yep.
Finally. It took its time.
Crazy has a nice high ground position here, but it isn't inside the circle. They're going to be able to spam teams as they try and rotate in, but eventually they're going to be gate-kept if they don't get those kills, which they're not.
Yeah, they will have to move.
There's
This Rush to Die player right on the edge of the zone. He's using his VSS to good effect. He's taking out some of the loops. Crazy do lose a player to the car explosion there. They've still got 2 up, though.
Not a fan of that. Solo Safe, one to watch now.
This is the most colourful we've ever seen a town. We haven't had many circles that have actually finished in towns. This might... You know what? This might even be our first town circle. We've had a couple compound circles, but I don't think we've really had one in a big town sort of area as more knocks go out.
That's
Multiple teams losing players at this point. Yeah, 9K nicks that kill from... I believe it was WarMaster who got the first knock, but to be honest with you, I've already forgotten.
I don't know how WarMaster got off that hill.
No.
Safely.
I mean, same deal with Crazy. They nearly made their way off that hill.
Yeah, Crazy wore some casualties of... But I mean,
this Rush to Die player has been putting in good damage with the VSS in his hands, so he might yet have something to say about Crazy, as a lot of spam goes out. XG are getting into it. Yeah, they've just knocked and confirmed one of Nova's players, so it's probably... Realistically, that's probably their biggest opponent that's still up right now, given that 6ix9ine are out.
Yeah.
And that Red Canids are missing a few players and haven't been having the greatest of times. I mean, there's still a lot of teams, full teams, who are still in things, but...
Red Canids are okay right now.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of just the teams that have been playing well so far, it'd probably be Nova.
The problem with Red Canids is they're in a warehouse that has a big road in front of it and a big field to the left of it. So getting out of that warehouse is going to be incredibly difficult. They'll need as many smokes as they can get. As that Crazy, one of their players goes out. We do see Nova and XG exchanging blows. A grenade will knock one of the players early on.
XG's compound is actually on the edge of the circle. I was about to say, so unless they get lucky, and indeed they haven't. So they've now got to make their way out of a 2-story building. Fortunately, there is exits on the opposite side from Nova, so they can get out without being shot at by Nova at least, but there's a lot of teams there behind them.
Yeah, Team Solid are not a bad shout at the moment. Same with the side of WarMasters. WarMasters are occupying essentially 40-50% of the circle by themselves as they're guarding it out.
Yep, they've got a big spread, so they can indeed try and put the herd on. Having a quick look at the alive board, we've still got
too many
6
squads.
teams on 4 players, so Yeah, I mean, I thought we'd have 7 or 8 squads left by the time the circle moved again. We've still got 11, so
Yeah.
we're essentially just biding our time, waiting for the kill feed to go so quickly that we can't keep up.
See, I realised that our prediction was incredibly wrong because teams can just get into the same building and just stay underneath each other, like Disturbed and Team Solid. Look at them.
There's actually 3 players in that building.
Yep.
XG, 3 teams, I should say, because XG are up top.
Yep, they're just hanging out. So we do see more action now as the Red Canids had to move out of that warehouse. Now sending it in the buggies. Quite nice vehicle to send it in because you have the turret on the back, or the gunner on the back, really. Can essentially act as a turret. So they've managed to find themselves in with 4 players. I don't know how they've managed that. It's some magic stuff there. Batman still 4 players alive, but one of their players is bleeding on the zone. That's a nice little nade there from Team Solid coming out. So they're turning up today. Good stuff from them. Did they leave it too late? We'll have to wait and see.
I mean, if they can get a chicken dinner in this game, as much as that's a fair way off, given that we somehow still have 11 teams at 23 minutes in.
Someone kill someone. Oh,
guys,
this is a nice name
do
to
it.
come through.
But yeah, like if we do start losing some teams pretty soon, then it could well be Team Solid to come out on top.
He caught the nade in his hand. He was about to throw it. He cooked it a little bit too long. That is Red Canids getting egg on their face as they drop down to 2 members. You hate to see it, but you love to see it.
You just hate to. I'm not even sure I like to see that. You just... I actually thought that he did throw it and it bounced back, but I think that was just a straight-up hand explosion.
It was a hand explosion as he got knocked just as he was about to release that grenade. So,
adding to our series of pro tips, if you ever find yourself playing with an explosive and you arm it, don't stay near the thing.
No, yeah, that's not good.
Don't recommend that. Red Canids going to just about escape their building before the zone forces them out of
he's
it.
got picked off.
I actually thought he'd made that cross there, but Batman did pick him up. Team Solid,
solid player as well.
Going to go down 2. Batman just shelling everyone on the cross now, and Team Solid down to 3 players. Still 9k XG and WarMaster with 4 up, but that might be changing pretty soon as 9k will drop 1. They are all safe inside this building, though, so the res will be easy.
Red Canids in the bin as they drop out. They had the hard rotation across the road, and they were just greeted by teams that are already established in those compounds. As 8 teams left, 24 alive. We have lots and lots of action. We're going to have to check the med situation eventually. The sprays coming out, and those 9k players aren't looking too fresh, but that Batman is on the deck. Robin's going to have to go pick him up.
The zone is looking tricky for those Batman guys now as their building has been cut in half. That's ambitious at best, but...
Put it away. Put it away. I don't think you can actually put the pin back in grenades like that, but...
video game logic will allow it.
Oh, that's a biggie. That's a 3-for, surely. Or maybe even a 4-for.
Was that... That was an elimination
That was all
nade.
the Batman. Yeah, that was all 4-for.
That was 4 Batman players gone in 1 grenade. Man.
Big boom there as we get a push come in. This is XG onto the last 2 players off Disturbed. Disturbed putting up a huge fight here. And
they actually... What? Did they just knock XG? They're down to 1 player now.
Down to 1 player, so that was a 3v2 that went 2v... Oh.
Becomes a 2v1.
2v1, yeah.
Very well
and
played
and
and defended from
Disturbed. And the last XG player is whiles away, so they'll be able to get those kills too.
Mick just dived off a building.
On Mick as he pushes in. Goes to the drop shot, but he's going to be cleaned up by those Disturbed players. So Disturbed just played themselves 4 kills, essentially, as they're going to bow out now as this building is cracking off. It's 9k who still have 4 alive. WarMaster who still have 4 alive.
I mean, the thing is, they did their damage before they went down there, those 2 Disturbed players. They managed to get a full squad wipe before being overrun, so that's a couple of extra points for them that they do need. 9k and WarMaster, as you say.
Yep.
Yeah, it does indeed center around the road. So it looks like both sides of the road are still in play just about, and the teams will be able to keep their compounds, but only barely. And that eastern side of the road is certainly going to get very crowded here, as now it's Nova and WarMaster having a bit of a fight. Nova getting the better of it thus far.
Nova go out, though. He manages to save before the thirsts come out, so WarMaster is going to be able to get up all their players. You'd imagine as one of the solo safe players, it is the King Duck. He goes down to a grenade. Grenade's late stage of this, and that's the end of solo safe, in fact, as they go down.
Team Solid have guaranteed themselves a top 3 at minimum.
Here we go.
How many kills they got? 5. So they're getting, what's that, 15 points minimum?
It's happening.
15 points as a guaranteed minimum for this game. They could well be moving themselves out of the bottom 8 right here on Miramar. This circle, I mean, with all of these teams in separate compounds, this might well come down to a heal off. We'll have to keep an eye on these first aid kit situation. Like Zoom here's got a ton of bandages, but they're not going to out heal that zone.
They're useless.
So you do need first aid kits. And let's see if any of the teams do. I mean, you got 2 decisions in this sort of situation. You either commit all your first aid kits to one guy, or you commit your entire team to going and fighting.
It's 5 first aid kits on one of the Team Solid players that just peeped there. As 9k are starting to get knocked out, this could be good.
Make sure you throw it.
Where's the move?
What? Oh, okay.
Oh, there it is.
That was a separate grenade. I was like, how did I get over there? What do you mean?
So there's a few grenades. So it is WarMasters and Team Solid with the positioning at the moment. But as brought up, the further away from the center of that blue zone, the more damage you take.
The more medkits you need.
So you're going to need to get as close to that center as possible. And now WarMasters are throwing out about 1,001 smokes. We've seen 101 Dalmatians. This is 101 smokes. As this player could drop a nade in there.
Oh, this is not looking good for WarMaster. Did they actually pick the player with the nade in hand?
No, Kev wasn't the nade in hand, bloke.
No, I was going to say, surely not. 9K putting some good damage out here onto WarMaster. The crate being cheeky up on top of the containers there. No one's going to be getting that one. This is indeed all right for Team Solid as their opponents are fighting each other. It's, again, just the dream at this point is to have your opponents take each other out, and then you can try and sweep in for the win. WarMaster getting potentially way too keen here. They send one player in very, very close. Looks like the rest of the team want to go with him. Sprays through the smokes from 9K here, looking to confirm the rest of these players. Robson up on top. He might actually be able to steal a few of these kills. Go on, Ray. Get him. Get him.
Oh, it will be 9K taking out the side of WarMasters. They are only one player remaining.
6 kills for Team Solid now. This is looking better.
This is looking very good as that nade comes in. It's a beautiful nade. It only just clips out. And that might have been the end of the WarMasters. And now Team Solid are taking shots at 9K on the roof. 9K under lots of pressure.
This is such a good spot for Team Solid
Team
as well.
Solid actually have one player with 5 medkits too, so they can find themselves a cheeky D here.
And they're more central. I mean, it's pretty equal, but I think 9K are slightly more central on this zone. I mean, sorry, Team Solid are slightly more central on this zone than 9K are.
Get to that little fence line there as the spray comes out from Robo on top. He's got 3 for. He wants to turn it into a 5 for.
How are they doing this again? They did the same thing in the group stage. In the very last couple of games, they have a really big performance, and they're doing the same thing here. Second last game, it might just be enough to put them through to safety.
Smokes are coming out from the side of 9K. They want to move into them. But you'd imagine Robo up on top, on high.
Look at all those players.
The spray comes out onto that wall, but the nade comes out as well. So now it's only one player alive from 9K, and he's the furthest away from the center of the zone.
Surely not Team Solid. Not again. Come on, fellas. You did the same thing on the last game of the group stages. They've just got to find this one player in the smoke. They're going to drop straight in and go for it here. It's only one more they need, and Murray is going to go in and confirm it with the help of Kevin. Team Solid, once again, backs against the wall, elimination looming, grab themselves a 10-kill chicken dinner.
They definitely needed all the chicken dinners they can get going into this. 9K put up a nice performance. WarMasters as well putting up a nice performance. Team Solid safe, also a good one.
So our top 4 are the 4 teams who needed points.
Well
9K not as much, but
9K didn't need nothing.
No, 9K didn't need anything. But the other 3, yeah, certainly needed themselves some points. They'll be pretty happy with that.
Gotta love the bit of a battler spirit that is the Team Solid fellas, don't you? They got Robbo and they got Kev.
They're a very Australian team.
They're actually very Australian.
They got Murray, Muzza.
Murray. Murray's actually a pretty Australian name.
Yeah, Murray already, yeah, you call him Muzza. Either way, Robbo. They really are the most Australian names in the whole region. Anyway, having a look back at the highlights from that game, I love this. The highlights have started at 23 minutes in, and we've still got a billion players alive.
That is fantastic. Red Canids had a really rough rotation, so they had to get out of that warehouse, go across a road, and then into the compound that, well, Batman essentially controlled, and that was the 4K with the nade. That was a big one, too. See that in the highlight reels. This was XG getting 2v4'd. Quite unfortunate.
Quite disturbed of all teams as well.
Yeah, disturbed. We're at the bottom of the pops today. They started off at 21st, so wouldn't expect XG to really go down too far to them. But
they're fine.
XG haven't had the most fantastic day themselves. Mick ended up claiming 1 kill, so close to cracking the 30, if not cracking the 30 now. But the story really is Team Solid. If they get another chicken dinner, they'll all be guaranteed safe, but they still need a little bit more, Tim. They're not quite safe.
I mean, they've got to be right on the on the verge, though. It's the same story as the group stages for them at the very last couple of games. They have a big performance. We do have one more map to go, though, before we can finally decide and lock in who's going through to the regional finals and who our bottom 8 are, who are proceeding no further. But before that, we do have a short break. We're returning to Erangel for one last game right after this.
deathmatch. A quick game for those short breaks. There is a better choice.
Another team coming in here. This is getting difficult for the Brazilian killers as the WarMaster fight's going to be cleaned up for them, but still worried. There's another white ghillie here in play with Kako. So we've got
to have an equal win rate or better, which
well, that means when we get to the actual finals, they're going to win 3 out of 10 games.
Yeah, and you'd think that would be enough. Unless someone wins
7.
Or 7.
Which I doubt. Either way, Influence Rage here under fire. Again,
they're not going to be winning 7.
They really probably
enough to get back in, so EVO all of a sudden down to 2 players. 6ix9ine do have 3. That rotation isn't too bad for them.
Wait.
He killed him by falling. He dragged him down.
Okay, it seems that way. 6ix9ine now doing a whole lot of work here. I mean, they're potentially about to take this one out. It should be all done and dusted here. There's the last kill.
Hey, ooh, he needs to get tagged though. This Kato are getting lit
Oh
up
my
by
goodness.
the Influence Rage guys. Swap weapon, boy. Get the other one out and start having another crack at it. This last one. Aren't coming out great.
Yeah, Myth's going to risk it. He actually wants to find
This
these
is a
guys.
beautiful
And,
angle,
oh my
though.
goodness, so well played. They're going to find all of them.
Team Queso
That
gone.
will be Team Queso out. EVO, and there was 1 player left as well, and they are no longer in the zone. 6ix9ine have played it perfectly. They're leaving their last player in the edge of this zone. They've just got to clean up this one last player. It's actually doing pretty close.
Both of these
Cover for
teams.
now.
Both these teams had a pretty poor game 2.
Oh boy.
XG and Cream, so neither of these teams are going to want to go
This
out
is about to
early.
be so rough for Brazilian killers. IN. Are they
IN
actually giving it up? The
They might
timing,
think-
they might just be leaving here. This may well turn out in Brazilian killers' favor. They're about to start coming across.
And then it's all over for you. Jonathan so far has been very bloody strong. What are you playing at, mate? Okay, never mind.
Not the
Very
greatest.
weak. He went for the
Yeah, I quite like snowmobiles on this map.
They feel very comfortable to drive, so that's good. Stick to the ground. Oh, my
Oh, talk
lord.
about comfortable to drive. Tempo trying to go for that 360 barrel roll.
She's alright.
5 points because they did stick the landing.
Yasha up the stairs, does find the knock, refrag from Unique's teammates. Kitsune looking directly through the window, a really strong play here.
2 downs, very low HP, and he goes. Doesn't get the knock. Hang on a
Gets
minute.
him. How's he survived through that?
Unique, they're really on the ropes now, but finally.
Spraying down on actually,
Is there a Batman?
and they're going for it. Is this going to be execution? Yes, Iraqi Elite is
Oh,
going
he
for
gets
it.
hit by the
And
car. Quiet, falls.
Rivalry could go ahead there at the end of the game if it continues on. S7 at the moment, 4 kills in the bag. Oh, you're sliding. Ooh. Alright. He made it into the water eventually.
Yep, nope, we're fine. Nope, they're still falling in. All right, well.
One more game lie between us and our bottom 8 team. Well, lie between us and elimination for our bottom 8 teams is what I should have said. But one problem with that, Ben.
What's that?
We don't know who the bottom 8 are yet.
Who are they?
We don't know.
All right.
Fortunately,
I know one.
Yeah, I know one. Fortunately, we've got one more game to figure out who that bottom 8 is going to be. And then we'll lock in who's going through to the regional finals out of the South American region here. As we're nearly to the end of the semi-finals now, so if you caught the start of the stream, we talked about how we do 24 games of group stage, 24 of semi-finals, then 10 of finals. We're nearly done with the semis. If you didn't catch the start of the stream, and if you are just only tuning in now, maybe for the first time in all of PMCO so far,
It's a bit late to the party.
you've missed a lot, but never fear. Head over to the PUBG Mobile eSports YouTube channel where all of the games are being uploaded. You can watch them all there and catch up with all the action you may have missed. And if you've only just joined the stream, you don't know what PUBG Mobile is, then look, you're either wandering Twitch or YouTube and you've found us, so welcome if that's the case. If you do want to get involved in playing PUBG Mobile, it's completely free on the Google Play Store and iOS App Store. So there you go. If you have been around for the last couple of weeks watching all of the action unfold, then you've heard those plugs about 1 million times, which I hope you've actually subscribed to the YouTube channel and downloaded the game if you hadn't, because we've said it enough times.
Yeah, we told you what to do, so go do it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's about it.
Do it.
Not going to take any no's for an answer.
Do as we say, because we can definitely... Anyway, we're moving on from that. We do have one more Erangel to decide our bottom 8 here, and I think our top 3-ish of the bottom 8, maybe 4 at a stretch, can still make it out. I mean, Team Solid grabbed themselves a chicken dinner last game on Miramar, which we'll have a look at here.
This is the chicken dinner that
so
was.
30 points for them, which may well be enough to push them up into safety. I mean, we were looking at the difference at the start of the day between... The difference at the start of the day was like 17th, 18th, 19th, and which is, elimination zone, and 16th and 15th, which was safety, was like 10 points.
Yeah,
20 points.
They started the day on 48 points, so that game itself gets them up to 78. I believe they got probably 5 or 10 points last game, a game before that on Sanhok as well. So they're getting there because they had a decent finish on Sanhok. They're getting there, but they still need that one big game.
They do. I mean, they just had a big game. The problem is they need another one.
They need another one. They back it up. This is the end, as we do see. We didn't get the full complement of teams in today.
PDZ, I think, at this point. We haven't had confirmation on that, but given by the fact that we didn't actually see them in the lobby, they may have bowed out.
Everyone almost got a kill, though, except for 6ix9ine and EVO. So,
I mean,
sharing the love.
Looking at the pre-game lobby for the next game, there's 60 players in, so maybe PDZ are back. But
60 minus 4.
Oh, yeah, true.
So
Maths is real hard.
Yep.
You're right. Anyway,
here we go.
Here's the overall standings thus far. 6ix9ine, 13 points off breaking that 300. Hopefully they can do it just for funsies. I mean, look, the top 8 doesn't matter. It's bragging rights at this point. We've had 3 teams now pass the 200-point barrier. Potentially 4. XG could do it in this final game. Only needed 12 points, which for them is not a lot.
No, they could do it. They've been soft. Well, they've been soft today, I guess. They haven't been performing too well.
Holy moly. Check out those kill points for 6ix9ine, by the way.
Yeah,
the next closest is on 80. They're 31 points ahead of the place.
They have had an incredible semi-finals performance from them. And they didn't even get a kill last game. So
no.
Here we go. WarMaster and EVO are the 15th and the 16th. Batman have found themselves moving up to the 14th. Tied up with Real at the moment. So still a game to go.
Because Real have played all their games, so they're going to end up above Real no matter what happens.
Yeah, they certainly are. They'll move themselves up to 13th place, you'd assume. Unless
they
EVO
have
and
to.
WarMaster move themselves up.
That's also true. But even if they do, I mean, I don't think there's going to be enough teams that can actually knock Batman out here. But of course, that's what we're playing this last game for, to find out. So
Still got Loops, Solo Save,
Yeah.
Solid, all down there, hanging out.
Nobody's really safe below Real just yet. And I mean, Real themselves aren't yet safe either. It's worth noting.
They'll be watching the broadcast.
They're in an okay position, but I imagine they're starting to feel a little anxious, as it is just one game that decides their future going forwards. And they're not even the ones playing in it. They're hoping on everyone else to save them. Ace 1 are the next team up, well, the next lowest team, I suppose, with all their games played. But sitting at 137, they should have enough of a buffer to be safe at this point.
They're super safe.
Yeah, they're 30 points ahead of 16th place. They're fine.
Yeah, they're completely fine. This is the ball that matters, though. Solid moved themselves up.
Look at that gap. It's 5 points.
Oh, that's so close.
And 17th place, I'll be honest with you, I didn't pay the most attention to what they had, but I think it was like low hundreds, right? Like 100. They're on 104, I think. So less than 10 points between Team Solid and Safety.
Team Solid need a Chicky D.
I mean,
they definitely need one.
That's the thing. Killer's team have played all their games, so they're no threat. By the way, Killer's team are our first confirmed eliminated team. It's worth noting as well. They are not going to be able to get any more points, so they are out of things, unfortunately. PDZ, I mean, we don't even think they're playing at the moment, so they're most likely confirmed.
No, they got 14.
They've only got 14 games, so they didn't play last game, so I think they're pretty much done at this point. Team Solid, though, are still well in with a really good chance as well. Solo, Safe, and Loops.
PDZ have kind of dogged the boys here, because that's 4 less kill points available to this lobby.
You're right, actually.
So PDZ dogging the boys, really doing the fellas dirty.
That's what comes down to, if there's a 4-point difference that knocks your team out.
Yeah, that's real grim. If that, and it is going to come down to that because it's so close.
Especially given that PDZ have been pretty much giving. Look, this is going to sound horrible, but stay with me. They've been giving at least one team a free 4 points because they've pretty much gone out in 16th.
I wonder what the stats are on that. I reckon it's 6-9. It has to be 6-9 taking care of it.
They had 36 points. I think they're on 38 now, as we saw.
They had 14 games played, 14
points
kills.
From 14 games.
Yeah, but they had 14 games played, 14 kills. They were good for one.
No further comment.
It is going to be our last map of the day, though.
Yeah,
Erangel.
we do move.
It's going to be.
We return to Erangel, so
where we saw Team Solid
I'm
claim a victory in the last in the group stage at the last of the day.
They
if
did
it happens
clutch up
again,
in the group stage. Dude, I'm done. I'm out. I mean, well, technically, we're out after this anyway. Like, we're done no matter what happens here. South America's over for the semifinals. So,
certainly is.
Fortunately, we can have whatever overdramatic response we want and still be justified leaving because the broadcast will be done. Anyway, it's still incredibly close for our teams trying to dodge elimination at this point. So, we're keeping an eye on...
Nice play.
I thought you meant the skin. I was like, there isn't one on it yet. But no, like, that's... Yeah, so we're looking at an east-west plane, dead center, actually. That's, what, an inch above being actual dead center of the map in terms of the grid. And I think in terms of the overall map, that is dead center. How's that for a thing? Everyone's going to be able to get everywhere.
Everyone can go everywhere. It's the perfect plane to end the day.
Now give us like a really dramatic circle, just to make it fun.
Millie B circle would be fantastic. It would be garbage for the teams because teams like WarMasters are going to drop in Yasnaya, you'd assume. But it would be fantastic for us. And
That's the duality of being on broadcast, isn't it? You're like, yes, I want the teams to play well. However, I also want the most obnoxious things possible to have for the teams so it's more entertaining for us.
Suffer.
Yeah, like I want, an island circle on Miramar, and I want, a Millie-based circle here. Just something that's incredibly obnoxious and annoying for them to deal with, but very entertaining to watch. Love to see how it goes, though. This plane, fortunately, will give everyone a pretty neutral start to get wherever they want to get their looting happening. So no one's going to really be upset with this, I don't think. It's pretty much the most neutral plane we could possibly have, unless we had the same thing running north-south.
Yeah, it is essentially the most neutral plane. So teams that are dropping on the west coast are Team Solid. You'd expect them to stick together, please, boys. They're going south at the moment, so they found themselves a nice circle, though, as it is the western side circle once more. We see teams such as Guardians, Imperium on your screen will need to rotate the furthest distance away, but I don't know what their game plan is this game. Just try and finish strong, try and finish as much as you can. Obviously, they are almost undoubtedly eliminated unless they can get like a 40-kill chicken dinner, which is unfathomable.
Yeah, I mean, while I was doing some quick Googling for that before, I couldn't find any records for professional games, or at least like this is the highest one. I did see records of teams like in squad PUBG, just normal squad PUBG, getting 40 kills. I saw a Shroud 38 kill thing listed. So like we have had teams who've gotten up in the 40s in pubs,
yeah.
but I wasn't able to find a record for professional PUBG. If you know, by the way, what that is, please reach out to us. Our Twitters have been on screen. Please let us know. I'd love to know what the record in either professional PUBG PC or mobile is, or both, for kill leads.
Let's talk serious for a minute, though, as we have Team Solid in the quarry. They are in the best position of the teams that need points. We have the side of WarMasters at the moment. They're in a little bit of a fight with the side of Disturbed in Yasnaya. It looks like they're winning that fight. That is on screen now. Yeah, so that's Yasnaya having WarMasters in it. Solo Safe are to the east of Yasnaya, furthest away from the circle out of the teams that need the points. Loops are in the shelter area around Prison Shelter. So they have an easy rotation in towards that Potato Hill area, but they have big squads surrounding them. They have XG to the south, 6ix9ine to the west, Batmen and EVO in the north. So EVO and Batmen are teams that need points as well, but they are currently safe. So Nova have gone back down to the military base. When they rotate in, they could be a pest for anyone rotating on the east side if they don't just full send it towards the middle.
It depends on which way they choose to rotate as well, as they can go the western line, go out around the ferry pier. They can cut up through the middle of the map where 6ix9ine are currently holding resonance.
Yeah, well, it's going to be difficult for any team to rotate in on that eastern side, as there are just so many teams ready to go for it. We have Guardians Imperium that are going to be the furthest away, but they're not someone that we need to pay too much attention to this game. Solo Safe are, if they read the situation correct, they should just be able to go north and rotate in across shooting range and then cross the river around there. But it's going to be really difficult to get center of this zone. At the moment, the Rush to Die guys, they're split out once more, fanning out across the Gatka Fields area, trying to get as much loot as possible before those teams start to compound crash in.
That's the thing. They know their time is limited, as they are in a pretty central position here, so they know there's only so much time they have before the, 8 teams to the east to have to get inside the circle. So got to get some early looting on, do as much as they can. Nova doing the same down at the military island. They are going to be the team who's, well, probably going to get hit by the zone first, but luckily for Nova, they've actually got a bit of a reprieve here in that nobody else has dropped Military Island, which is the first time we've seen that, I think, in the entire South American region. We pretty much always had 2 at least teams down there.
Yeah, today Nova have just been sitting there alone, and that was just, well, the first game it was because of the circle and the plane. Nobody wanted to go down there. There was no point.
There were still 2 teams down there, wasn't there?
No, it was just 1.
Okay.
And second game
today...
Oh, no,
you're right. Yep.
Second game today, it's just because there's no other military-based squads in the game. XG will loot around farm area and the southern coastline there, but that's about as close as it gets. Primorsk will be taken over now by the team of Team Solid. So they started off in Quarry and they rotated to Primorsk to get all the loot they can out of that. Instead of rotating towards the middle of the circle, they've gone to the town to secure as much as they can. They would have scouted that Primorsk was free. Teams that do like to drop Primorsk in the South America region are Team Queso and PDZ, both who are not playing. So maybe that could have been 4 free points for Team Solid on the board.
Maybe.
Or, again, PDZ could have played spoiler and knocked a few of them down.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of those things we'll never know. Either way, we are on board here with EVO, going for a bit of a rotation into the center, or getting more central, actually heading to the western side of things here. And there's a couple teams over there, Rush to Die, Crazy, and Red, all around, Red Canids, I should say, all around that area. So don't want to get too keen here. Let's do a quick look at the map. And you can see that the majority of our teams are already working their way into the circle. Yep. Team Solid are on their own just outside of it. They're going to be fine. Nova just have to cross the bridge. XG already on their way over as well. It's mainly Team Solo Safe who have to get a bit of a move on here, as the zone is just touching that eastern coast near where they are, but everyone else is going to be fine.
This was that Rush to Die player that was guarding that compound as a solo man. He's managed to find 1 player from EVO. That's big news for them, because EVO still needs to secure points. Some of the teams in the bottom half of the board start to get a wriggle on. They have a good game here. EVO could go out. Yeah, it's unlikely, but it is possible.
I mean, I think we're going to have a bit of a slower start to this. Well, I mean,
very cautious start.
Yeah, exactly. We should have a very cautious start, as not only are the teams who are in the bottom 8 going to be careful because they need to get as many placement points as they can. They don't want to just go for kills to move themselves out. The teams in the bottom half, or the bottom half of the top 16, or the middle 8, I suppose, also want to be careful, because they know that while they're safe right now, that can all be snatched away from them here at the very last minute in our final game.
I'm worried for Team Solid here. They've been in Primorsk for a long time, and the center of the circle is very packed. They're jammed in like sardines, so a southern shift would help them. It was the only thing that could bail them out from this position. Otherwise, they will have to fight through the majority of the teams to get themselves into a decent position.
And that's going to be tough. I mean, if you're having a look at the map, most of the roads are taken up as well. Whether they go the western coastal road, whether they try and go one of the roads that goes up the middle, they will eventually run into 3 or 4 teams at least. So it's going to be a bit of a difficult road back in for them. Tassin on your screens, by the way. Full level 3 armor for him and level 2 backpack, but full level 3 armor will be pretty good. He's on his motorbike doing a bit of scouting ahead of his teammates.
Yeah, he's just checking out the area. He's got very colourful skins on today, Tassin. More 6ix9ine players on motorcycles. It's really rough at the moment for the side. Yes, Snider's still popping off, by the way. There's still lots of teams in there, 2 teams in there, swinging at each other, poking around. As Stalber is being looted by the solo safe guys, they are just taking the opportunity to get as much as they possibly can. The zone doesn't hurt that much as a level 1, but when the level 2 ticks over, it starts to do a little bit more, and then all of a sudden your meds start to go that you did loot, so they need to be careful and start to move out.
You don't want to bleed meds early unnecessarily to the zone if you're not under pressure. Like, right now, the only thing keeping solo safe in this zone is looting. And that's fine because you said it's a level 1 zone. But if you run out of meds and then you find yourself getting edge guarded in one of the later zones where it does a lot more damage, it's going to be pretty dire straits for you.
Yeah, no, it's not the ideal situation to find yourself in. Nova are rotating across the bridge now. Team Solid are rotating in as well. They are positioning up at the quarry, just staying as far away from combat as they possibly can, really.
I don't mind that idea from them, just trying to survive, make their way up.
Well, yeah, chicken dinner with... Oh, okay, so it is going to be a more northern shift. So that's not very favourable for him. A nade comes out, it's going to knock one of the disturbed players. That's WarMaster's getting in. That fight's been kicking off since basically the second they dropped. WarMasters will be able to complete this kill, you'd imagine, if they choose to. They do. So... now we have 2 of the disturbed guys. They need to get into the zone area and getting prevented by the WarMaster guys. They're also getting flanked, so Disturbed might actually be our first team to go down in totality. Car blowing up, so you're not going to be rotating that, fellas. That doesn't work no more. And they've also got a player on the backside. Look at this.
They did manage to play spoiler last game, but they have been completely outflanked by WarMaster here. They've got players on both sides and behind them, and they will be our first team bowing out. That is Disturbed gone, and I think that is going to anchor them in the bottom 8 as well. So that will be our second team, or third team, confirmed out, as PDZ have apparently left us as well. So we know 3 of our bottom 8 now. Yeah,
we're slowly getting there. WarMasters, those points will make them feel a lot more secure too, as they were with the side of EVO in that area where, if all the teams, or the 4 teams that need points all get points, you could get knocked out, but it's quite unlikely. But so Korea, 212 damage, 118 healing, not bad from you, bud. That's pretty rubbish though. Assault rifle sprayer, he must be.
112 meters is not the longest distance that we've seen. I think from memory, the longest distance I can remember seeing popping up on these stats, which of course doesn't mean it's the longest one, but the longest one that we've been shown is about 370 or something like that.
Team Solid on the move. Crazy on Everest, hanging out. Loops are in Gatka itself. So Team Solo Safe is rotating through the north. They're not going to get bridge camped, importantly. 9K is still in North George Pole looting. They haven't got the memo. Hopefully Solo Safe. They've started to run towards North George. Be careful. Okay, they are just going to hop out now. Just scout it out. So they'll get some information. WarMasters might come in behind Solo Safe here.
And that would be not ideal for them. Depends on... It does look like, unless they want to do some bush bashing, which it appears they do want to do that to avoid the zone, so they will head off-road. Crazy are going to hit themselves a knock. Having a look at that fight now, there's 1 player surrounded by 3 from Rush to Die, or 4 actually, but the rest of Crazy, you can see them there on the other side of the road, rotating in their cars now, ready to get in here and give support. They're drawing a lot of fire here, but they will get in close enough to give some support to their teammate, and all of a sudden, with this compound the way it is, this is going to be a fight that only one of these teams is coming out of alive. And both teams really need it to be them.
As the grenades start to fly out. Right-handed throwers mean that you can get some interesting little angles around corners. But Crazy have a nice little spread, but they are only 3-man strong.
And Crazy are the squad who need this win more than Rush to Die when it comes to points.
Certainly do. As Molotov pulls out, that's one of the Crazy players gone. Rush to Die can get their player up, and they have. So now we have a 3v4. And both of these teams are smack bang center of the circle. So this fight could go on
Smart
for a
choice.
little bit.
Crazy have chosen to disengage. I like that from them. In a 3v4, your chances are not ideal, and they know just how much they need these points. So they're going to get out. They will escape with all 3 players. Just about. Yeah, they won't be too bothered by the assault rifle spray at that range.
Circle going out. Where is it going to go? It's southeastern, really. Gatka is still in play.
Team Solid
have a good rotation in. They have a very good rotation.
They have a very good rotation. And are they going to...
Yeah, they are going to get the crate.
Yeah, they're going to grab the crate by the looks of things with a couple of players. So they're going to be able to hang out on the western side of this circle. And they're going to have some crate weaponry as well. Hopefully the gun in there is good. I'll have to see exactly what it is they pick up in a moment. Or when we next look at
sending
them,
it. Oh, Robbo.
Oh, my God. 2 of them, actually. Guys, please don't send 2 into the middle of the circle when you've got 2 getting a crate. I don't love it. I don't love it.
I don't love it.
Robson's pulled out. He's left his teammate to get
Kevo
engaged
and Rob. They're getting sprayed, but this is Duck, solo safe. He's managed to find one of the 9K players stuck in North George. So that's a much-needed kill for them too, as they are one of the other teams that are struggling. It looks like Robbo and Kev are still on the move.
Robbo and Kev. I mean, once we gave them the Australian names at the end of the last game, there was no going back.
No, it wasn't. They're actually pulling up close to Nova, so that could be very, very dangerous for them.
Batman lose a player to a 2 players actually to a car explosion. Helped out by Rush to Die. Duck is having a bit of a race with the zone. He'll be fine though. He's not going to be in it. Yeah, he does win these. He's not going to be in it for too long.
Yep, he wins these.
Bit of a cheeky stuntage as well as he goes, and there we are, out of danger. All good. Back inside the circle, speeding away in
all 4 players
buggy.
now together for Team Solid. So
excellent, very good. That said, the team that they're potentially nearly crashing into are Nova. 9K lose a player to the zone as well.
Yeah, this southern side is really dominated by Team Solid and Nova. There's not really much there. WarMasters are moving in now. The last 2 players from Batman are closest to them. 6ix9ine have found themselves pretty central, but it's not the most fantastic position. You wouldn't really call it the best. 9K are the ones struggling in the blue. There always one. Loops are in, Crazy are in, so there are a lot of teams. Oh, that's a crate smack bang between Nova and Team Solid.
That might draw them to blows. Not so much over the crate itself, but because if both teams notice it and try and go for it, they will reveal themselves to each other. That is, of course, not what Team Solid need. They still need a couple more good, well, not even a couple more. They just need some good points from this game. They need to get themselves some kills. They need some good placements. Yeah, I didn't actually look exactly what the requirements for them were, but they're probably needing, like, I'm going to say 15, 20 minimum.
Minimum 15, probably 20, 25.
Yeah, so
they need the chicky D.
Yeah, they pretty much need a chicken dinner, and they do have a crate gun to start themselves off with, plus some fresh level 3s. We haven't seen what it is they grabbed out of the crate just yet, but we know they've got something.
Important.
Yeah, I mean,
it's good, it's fun, but it's not going to be a.
It's not a game winner by itself.
Yeah. As teams have settled down now, as the tension starts to build, 9K are still in the zone. You imagine they fight. Oh, okay, Solo Safe just got gifted the circle. Batman are in it too. WarMasters, they are looking okay. 6ix9ine are in it. Yeah, Yakuza from XG is hanging about. That is an area with a lot of hills and a lot of trees. Not a lot of hard compounds though. So this is going to be a circle that kicks off. This is going to be on for young and old in this one.
Team Solid are yet to move. Nova are rotating away from them, so they've been gifted a reprieve in terms of that.
Honestly, the late rotation here is probably the play.
Yeah.
Let the teams go in, fight this out, and then you can come and clean up.
Here's a compound crash from WarMaster, but the people they've chosen to crash are 6ix9ine, who, despite the 13th place last game, are still one of our most dominant teams, and they're not going to let you forget that either. 6ix9ine. What a nice place to be to spray down the loot plays. Not going to get too much out of it, but already it looks like WarMaster are copying the worst of this. That said, they do manage to get one back onto one of these, or 2 of these 6ix9ine players, I should say. They will start having some players confirmed, but they're definitely holding their own here as the other 6ix9ine player comes scooting in on a bike, ready to help out. It looks like he's going to go straight for the revive on Tacit before getting into the fight.
Yeah, this is it. It is all kicking off. The Team Solo players now are moving in. The northern side of the circle is all quiet, but it is the southern side that's kicking off. Loops starting to get into the action too. Those last 2 players from 9K need to get in, but Loops look like they are wearing the brunt of some aggression. XG are starting to put shots into Nova as well.
Team Solid just grabbed another crate, by the way, so that's If they didn't already have full level 3s on a couple of players, they've definitely got them now, plus some extra guns. Crazy getting some duels happening as well as Red Canids put the fight towards Rush to Die. As you said, all of a sudden, this circle is absolutely kicking off. A lot of teams coming in very close to each other.
Nice shot there from the Red Canids player. That sniper rifle. Nova have found themselves being pushed out of the zone again by the side of XG. So all of a sudden, Team Solid might rotate straight into them, set up. Solid safe are getting a few knocks down themselves as the WarMaster is getting aggressive.
So far, they're getting the better of 6-9 here. Both teams dancing around these couple of houses. They've been there for quite some time, and it does look like 6-9 are getting the worst of it as they will have another knocked out. I think they're down to 2 by the looks of things. It might even be just 1.
Might even just be 1, as Myth is alive, and we can see that, but not sure about the others. It is 2 alive for
there you
the
go,
side.
yeah, he's up. So it is indeed 2.
Well, Team Solid now starting to get into it. That's 2 kills. They've just got 2 knocks onto EVO, and they've been able to finish one as well.
and an M249. They're
That
living
is
the
some
dream.
good guns. They are some fantastic guns to have, and that's a 3rd knock onto the side of EVO. One of the Nova guys has answered back onto the Solid player, but we'll have to see if he can be finished off. 6-9 are starting to get hurt by Red Canids now, so it's only 1 player alive from the squad of 6-9, and he's hanging out. But you'd think that their day will be done with this fight. That southern side, what a disaster that shift was for them.
I mean, Team Solid still doing okay. It looks like they have been able to get that res back up, but they're still facing off with Nova over a distance of 100 meters or a couple hundred meters or so. So there's still a lot of danger there for them. 6-9 though, they're really in a tough spot here. WarMaster pretty much own this compound now. I believe of the 2 6-9 players that are left, 1 is knocked. WarMaster puts some damage out at long range. Not to find anything with it just yet, but I mean, they're still looking pretty good to clean up 6-9 here. They are only on 2 players. That said, I think they've just spotted the 6-9 cross, and that will be them down. 6-9 out in 13th once again.
Yeah, WarMaster's now up to 7 kills. You assume from the kill points alone they'd be safe. Let alone the placements if they do manage to find themselves getting that far up. Red Canids have an angle on them though, as Nova are starting to get pinned by XG, which is fantastic for Team Solid, as Nova players are dropping left, right, and center. This is the compound crash coming in.
That's Nova out. Oh, actually, no.
Look at them. They're on our screen now versus GI.
I lied. I looked at the map and got bamboozled.
So XG, third party this engagement, and as they come more crashing in, this is a fight for the ages. Everyone's here.
Red Canids in now as well. A lot of teams fighting all over the place here. The knocks come out immediately. Guardians Imperium trying desperately to hang on. Somehow not getting a kill on the player who vaults in through the window, but does at least manage to get the knock happening.
Nade, though.
That nade, not quite going to do enough. Guardians Imperium taking their time in the middle of this to try and get a res off, but there's a lot of teams inside this compound. It's a big old mess. Team Solid now are on their way. They do indeed have the upgraded weaponry here. XG, Mixera, one of the best players we've had so far. One of our highest killers individually, probably still the highest, but not able to get anything done just yet. And there's that M249 now. The crate guns paying dividends for Team Solid.
Team Solid are now crashing into this fight. This could be disastrous for them, as one of their players actually has been knocked out on the outside of the fight. Mixera is just putting fights in. That's going to be one of the Team Solid players knocked. That's okay. It's not the end of the day. This fight is kicking off. Team Solid are getting the better of it as being the last players in. They've got 6 kills at the moment. If they can keep this 3 alive, going into the later stages of the game, even a 2nd place might be enough. They are on the outside of the group though, as Mick is on Overwatch, and his position is really ruining the days of some of these members. Well, he sees a player of GI through the little windowsills, but...
I mean, there's so many players in this house, and Mick's just spamming at him.
The thing is, Mick's position, he's unanswerable. Nobody can take the time to look at him, because if they take the time to look at him, they could get exposed from other angles inside the house. It is GI and the side of Team Solid in the house. We did see Nova bow out. They have to breach this top floor, though, which is the most difficult bit to get, as Batmen are getting claimed by the zone. Only 1 player up for them. It is a 3v... What is it? 3v3, is it? Team Solid and... No, it's 3v4, actually. GI got all their players
Yes, they do. Sorry, I couldn't find them.
Yeah, I was looking at the bottom, but... They are bleeding out a little bit.
They're getting their
Nade's
time.
Coming through. That's going to bounce on the stairs. Got to be careful.
They're getting their time to res.
Oh, this is a really good house to nade in.
Could be perfect. There's 2 players in there. Did he just throw it out the window? I think he did.
Yep.
No, you hate to see that. That could be the end of Team Solid here. This is not the end they're looking for. They do get 1 trade back on at least, and now they're committing. They have to try and go for this fight against Guardians Imperium. The M249 putting in massive work. So way too much fire. Oh my goodness, not found. Finds himself a massive clutch there.
10
or
kills!
Murray even. Goodness me, 10 kills for the team. That is huge. That's exactly what they needed. The M249.
Oh
the
my
lawnmower.
Lord. The lawnmower comes in. The big clip saves the day. Not running out of ammo for him, but holy moly. XG would have heard that action go on. See the kill feed. Yeah, Mick's popping tires. But Murray saves the day.
So, hold on. 10 kills.
10 kills.
6th place, they're getting 4 points for placement, is it?
14, yep.
So 20, 14, 10, 8, 6.
The circle isn't favouring him. XG are looking at him.
It might even be 5 points. I'm not actually, I can't remember, but they've got themselves like 14, 15 points already. They might... I don't know what it is with Team Solid and late. I mean, they need to start doing this earlier, like I said in the groups, but what matters now is that they might be able to do it again.
They need someone to take care of XG. Mick is on the high or on the watch out. WarMasters as well are a threat to Team Solid as they move in. They would have got belted by that fight, so their munitions, their kits, health kits will be very low as Crazy start to answer onto XG, so this will help Team Solid as it might drag Mick away. One of the players is going in, that's Big Kev. Big Kev's on the move. He's going into the zone as WarMasters are taking a fight with the Batman players. Crazy on the outside of the zone and getting knocked, but this is all eyes on Team Solid, boys. All eyes on Team Solid.
I cannot believe it. I'm going to, like, bill them for any heart problems that I have as a result of them leaving it to the last couple of games twice in a row, both in the groups and the semis. But what matters now is that they can potentially do it. Team Solo Safe still with 4 players up, our only other 4-player squad apart from XG, but their only cover is smoke grenades right now. WarMaster going to cop some losses to Murray as well. If they can find this last player, yeah, they're in the blue. This could be a free couple of kills for them. He's getting the damage across.
It's the kills, and it's also the placement points as well, as one of the Crazy players drops into the zone once more.
There you go. He does get the confirm. That's 11 kills for Murray now.
The XG nade.
That was a bit close.
Get stuffed, Mick.
We were on Mick's hype train the whole time because he's our kill leader, but now we're just like, no, Team Solid are doing it. Crate drops in the middle. No one's going to really put too much priority on that one right now. Team Solo Safe, their smoke's starting to run out. I can't actually even see who that nade hit.
It hit one of the...
Oh, it hit Murray by the looks. Mick's actually going in.
Oh, Mick, don't do it to him.
Come on, man.
Come on, Mick.
You've already got like 30-plus kills in the semifinals. Not like this. Go shoot Team Solo Safe instead. Don't ruin our redemption arc.
Solo Safe are another team that needed the points desperately as well, and they are up with 4 in the middle of the zone. He should be able to get Murray up. Murray's up. He's back. Crazy are being pinned down by XG.
I'm so nervous.
Murray got another kill. Murray got the WarMaster player.
The circle crucially shifts away from both XG and Team Solid. So this is going to force a bit of an engagement between these two. This is going to be a real scuffle here. This is probably our 2 strongest teams who are still up at the minute, given how Team Solid have been playing. Didn't think I'd be saying that, but they've been playing pretty well for themselves so far.
They're snaking, which isn't a bad idea. Crazy have to move as well. So if they can secure top 3 by Crazy having to move before they do, oh no, you're standing up and running. That's not good. Mick sees you.
That was a player with a ghillie. He might have been okay.
I don't think so. The ghillie isn't that great.
I mean, yeah, but
Smoke wall comes out for Crazy, so they'll
Mick's
start
still
to move
pushing.
Now.
Oh, God.
Oh, no, Mick.
All right, someone's got to check Mick here, or else Team Solid are looking bad. He's hiding behind the bushes here. He's going to open up on them. Surely someone can answer that. They're going to have to answer it as well, as Ducks now get involved in confirmed one. That's Team Solid losing a player, and Mick's continuing to push. He doesn't care. Our top fragger continuing to make a good name for himself here, looking to single-handedly ruin the chances of Team Solid. I think they've might have just done enough so far this game, but they don't want to go out in 4th place. They want to secure themselves safety if at all they can, but Mick is on a rampage at this point, getting himself a bunch of kills before finally going down, but I think that might have been Team Solid leaving us 4th place and like 12 kills-ish.
Yeah, 11
that might be enough. It might be, but in the meantime, we still need to figure out who's going to win this game. Crazy and Team Solo Safe, both teams who need some points. I think Crazy, this might be a little too late, but
I think it's too late.
Team Solo Safe are potentially still in with a shot as well. XG are the only team who don't need to win, and they're in one of the best positions to do it.
Yeah, I would back actually Team Solo Safe in here. Mix on deck. Team Solo Safe, they have the car compound, the makeshift compound. They also have zone control. Mix crawling back desperately to his mates. There is a little bit of a flank going on from one of the Solo Safe players. Crazy could play spoiler though. They have 2 players up, which is very important this time because it isn't just going to be a one and done type of deal. If they could find the angle on this car compound, Crazy might have something to say about the outcome of this game.
Or if they can spot XG out through all of these smokes. They are pretty much on level with them. Yeah, Mick's going to be res. That nade. That nade.
Yes.
Knocks Paris down. And he's got another one here. He's going to throw out immediately. Oh my God, the placements of these nades. What a read. He needs to go a little bit more to the left, but the explosion might just be enough. It is! XG, all of a sudden, they're running really low on players here. The nades have been huge. This might well be XG bowing out. It's Duck who's played spoiler for all of XG at this point. 2 players of theirs are down. Mick on about half health. Team Solo Safe still with 4 alive. Very happy to let their opponents kill each other. This is looking like it should be their chicken dinner. XG, not a lot to do here. They've still got themselves a bunch of kills. Oh my god, Duck's so close. Surely he's got this done. He's going to spray down, and he almost finds Lapita as well. Not able to find him out, but does knock Mick and knows that the other player is not far away. Going to confirm that one too. Ooh. The last couple of bullets tickling this last XG player here. And Duck, he's going to get up his feet and go for it. XG are eliminated. It's crazy against Team Solo Safe.
Certainly is. Big Duck comes alive in the moment of need for Solo Safe, and that will all but guarantee their progression onto the regional finals. Big Duck comes alive. He's got more than 5 too. I think he's got 6 for the moment. His crazy players are spotted in the grass. Ooh. One of the crazy players has answered onto a player on the behind that compound. Now we see only one player alive, and Duck's on the hunt. Usually they're the hunted, but today Duck is the hunter, as he claims the chicken dinner for his team. It is Solo Safe getting the last kill of the semifinals, and with that, the last chicken dinner.
My god, though, what a game. So many of our teams who needed points stepped up. Team Solid, have to shout them out again. 12 kills, even in 4.
Kills.
So
okay. It's 8 points, I believe.
It's so hard to tell,
but I think on the dot.
I think that might be enough. We'll have to see. I mean, Crazy, I don't think would have done enough there. They only got 2 kills in that second place, so that'll be 16 points for them. Who else was close by? Team Solo Safe should have done enough.
WarMasters were also on the cusp around that area. The Batmen were in the
WarMaster,
area.
They went out with, what, 8 kills?
Oh, yeah, I think
in
the
5th place?
I think the strong finish from teams like WarMaster, Batman, might have just ruined Team Solid's day.
God, I hope not.
I really do think
it's been the redemption arc. They get the chicken dinner. They come in top 4 with 12 kills. Surely.
You know who's done them dirty?
They have?
Crazy has done them dirty by surviving that little bit.
Yeah. If Crazy's 2 players had gone down, it would have been top 3 all of a sudden. But
this was a fantastic use of the M249.
Just run up and not let go of the trigger.
Big Murray. I'll tell you what, if they do get through, Murray's an Australian hero, even though he's definitely not Australian at all.
It was him and not Founder at the M249 who went charging in, so it was a very, very near thing, but I cannot believe that. Look how close they got here. They were doing so well. It was, in classic form, it was Mick who played spoil for them. Mick, who is, I didn't actually see how many kills he ended up on this game, but look, he's in his 30s now. He's got to be mid-30s.
This was the classic South America game without Brazilian killers in it, though. We had Duck action, we had Mick action, we had Team Solid action. So those are 3 big storylines we've been peddling for this whole region, and they've come alive again. The Big Duck, though, claims the chicken dinner for his team.
Dude, I can't believe that. That is far and away the most chaotic finish we've had to games so far. I mean, normally when we have a game ending like that, where there's one team of 4, it's like the team of 4 is in a pretty good spot. Either that or they get taken out in 3rd place and then it's a 1v1 or something. But that was all over the place. There was still a chance that Crazy might have just nicked that one away, but not quite enough. I mean, look, all I want to know is if Team Solid made it. They've got to be so close. Like, you'd think that if they've missed it, it's single-digit points they've missed it by.
No, right? It's definitely single-digit. And my heart is breaking for them because my mental maths, it's not the most reliable, but
I haven't done any maths for that exact reason.
My mental maths says that they're not in.
Oh, God.
My heart can't take it.
Look, the argument can be made that they kind of did it to themselves by like.
I mean, yeah, they've done
it twice now, where they wait until the very last gasp and then just like, hey, final game of the group stage, chicken dinner. Second last game of the semifinals, chicken dinner. Last game of the semifinals, 4th place, bunch of kills. Just, I don't know what it is. Like, it's clearly, not clearly, right? It's a mental thing. It's what I would assume, right? Yeah. The pressure gets to them. They're just like, oh, we have to perform, and they do it. Maybe, of course, we're assuming, but if they could just do that earlier. Then all of a sudden they're in the clear. I mean, I'm still holding out hope. Yeah. I reckon it's going to be close. I reckon they might just be in. I mean, having a quick look at our leaderboard from the start, to have a quick guess. Like PDZ are obviously gone. Crazy, Disturbed, I think they'll be out as well. Yep. We know Killer's team dropped into the bottom 8 before the start of theirs, so that's 4. The other teams were in the bottom 8. Loops, I mean, I don't think they did so well that game, so might not have made it. Batman had themselves a pretty good day. WarMaster as well, and obviously Team Solid. The last 2 games are really good for them. So any of those 4 teams could have made it out, and I guess it just depends on who they've shunted down.
We've got the boys in the back crunching the numbers at the moment. We'll see soon enough if Team Solid have done enough to do it. I expect you to start hollering and harring if they have, but as I said, mental maths.
I'm not doing it.
Not in.
I can't do maths on stream, man. We've talked about this. The other thing we'll have to keep an eye on, 6ix9ine, they went out in 13th, which
Yeah, so
means
they had
they
a
didn't
quiet day.
break that 300.
No, they didn't. They had a quiet day. That's unfortunate
I
for
mean,
them. Well,
they
the
got
start
a
of the day.
chicken dinner.
The start of the day wasn't quiet. They were very annoyingly loud, as they've continued to be for this whole semi-final. But so they had a good day, I guess, if you claim that chicken dinner is a good day. But you set higher expectations for them after getting 3 chicken dinners in a second place in a day.
And, 6 games in the top 2 back-to-back. So
Yeah, so
I would have liked to see them hit 300. Not that it matters. They're still far and away in first place. Like, I think, from memory, the team in second was on, 230 when they were on 280 something. So they're, there's no way anyone's taking their first at this point. They're guaranteed first seed heading into the semi-finals. But,
XG
I mean, the regional finals. But it still would have been nice to see them break that 300 just for our amusement. More than anything else, really.
XG having a nice game was good. They haven't had a good game for a little bit, so them returning to form was nice. Mick getting a bunch of kills.
I reckon Mick will probably end up on 35, 36 kills, something like that for the
We haven't actually
semi-finals.
seen the kill leaders all of today yet.
No, we haven't.
So
we'll see if that does get updated for us.
Hopefully we get that.
Before the end of the day. But, I mean, yeah, he's got to be up there. Who else was up there? I mean, Brazilian Killers, their 2 players wouldn't have found any more frags today.
I don't think Brazilian Killers, despite, I don't know, the stigma with Brazilian Killers, I think they had a pretty quiet semi-final.
Yeah,
But
they did.
This was
all right, here we
points for
go.
this game.
It's time, or it's nearly time. This is the game we just finished. This is the final game of the semi-finals. 30 points for Team Solo Safe. Team Solid squeak into second with
look how many
20
points. Up there, though.
I mean, yeah, that's the thing.
WarMaster
Crazy, 16. WarMaster, 15. XG, not that it matters, 15. Guardians Imperium, 10. Batman, 8. That's a lot of teams who needed those points. And when we were saying at the start of the day, it was like 10, 15 points was the difference between in and out in the bottom 8.
Yeah.
It's going to be very, very close indeed. Loops only the 1 point. Disturbed only the 1 point. I think they're both going to be out. I don't think Loops will have done enough. 6ix9ine, again, doesn't matter. They're fine. EVO were actually on the cusp as well, so we'll have to see where they end up.
They got 4 placement points. I believe if they got 1 placement point, it would have been really rough, but getting 4, that might be enough of a difference.
It might be. I mean,
might be enough of a difference.
That's the fun part about this. Team Solid have really thrown those last 2 games up into the air as they've got a bunch of points. A lot of our teams in the bottom 8 have got a bunch of points. So we actually don't know. Here we go. All right, first page. I hate to say it, but no one cares. It's fine.
Not 300, no one cares, but yeah, XG didn't move up. They got to 200 points. Congratulations, they broke the mark. But big story there. Brazilian Killers managed to claim themselves as top 8, but only just.
With no chicken dinners as well. So
Team Queso and Brazilian Killers, the 2 top teams from last split, find themselves in 7th and 8th after the semi-finals. So obviously it doesn't really matter where you finish up now as long as you are in the top 16, because we are only having 1 lobby. So everyone's going to be in there starting from fresh anyway.
All right, Team Solid, please.
Come on, boys.
Oh my god. I'm so nervous and it has nothing to do with me.
I got it! Hey! 115 points. The chicken dinner, WarMaster, Batman,
Solo Save.
EVO are out. EVO are out.
EVO are done.
How did they manage to squeak their way through? That's incredible. The Cinderella story continues.
I mean, looking back at the start of the day, Batman, WarMaster, and Team Solid were all down the bottom. Like Team Solid was second last. They were 23rd.
They've more than doubled their points today.
What do they have? 48. Yeah, they've like double and a half their points. That's how maths work. All right, 115 points for Team Solid, 119 for WarMaster. I think this might be where we break some hearts. I suspect there's going to be like 17th, 18th place. I think they're going to be right up there.
Yeah, that's going to be some heartbreakers. I can't believe they've done it.
Oh my god. All right.
It's a tie, Real.
It's a tie.
Real didn't get a chicken dinner and they had less kill points. So on tiebreaker, they lose out. It's a tie.
And Real, I mean, EVO, 113. Loops at 100. They didn't have a very good day, but
oh my. That is insane.
I can't believe it was
for 16th and 17th.
Team Solid, not only did they get all the points they needed, but because their last 2 games were so kill heavy, like their chicken dinner was what, 10 kills, and then they got 12 with that 4th place. At the start of the day, they had 17 kills. There's 39 kills on Real. How's that for a turnaround?
That is Oh my god, that is an incredible story. Real must
No, that's right. They had 17. They got more than 22 kills today. I think they only just got more than 22. Like, it may have been 25, but they just sneak past Real. So those are the teams that we're saying goodbye to. I mean, PDZ, we knew that was coming, but EVO falling down in there,
Loops.
Real as well, Loops all dropping out. Those are all the teams we'll say goodbye to. So with that team solid clutch, I mean, there's clutch from a lot of our teams who made it through. We now know who's going through to the regional finals. I'm still in shock. That was a ridiculous way to end things here. But that's it. That's the South American semifinals done here at PMCO 2019. We now only have one stage of the tournament left. We move now to the regional finals. The top 16, 10 games, one lobby, the same teams all the time. That's going to be action-packed. We're done for now. Bit of a break between now and the regional finals, but we will catch you when they're up. Make sure you tune in. We'll see you then.